Here's a message of importance to millions of people who are continually pale and washed out, weak and run down. Doctors will tell you that these conditions are often caused by a deficiency of iron. The iron you need to keep you physically fit and mentally alert. Medical studies show that 2 out of 3 women and many, many men lack the daily iron your body requires, in a form your body can easily use and put to work. Every dose gives you more than your daily minimum iron requirement.
We are the way, we are the way, we are not alone. We are striving for more.
So if you're not getting the iron your body needs, if you feel weak, run down, and are easily upset, start taking iron today.
The iron you need to get what you want.
Thank God it's Friday.
Oh, wow, that was creepy.
It's Friday, my dudes.
And a TGIF to you all. I don't know what in the world that was. That was a bit of a delay, and they all just kicked in at once because it didn't want to do it. So I clicked it 3 times. But welcome to Have No Sphere right here on the Iron Roll Media YouTube channel. My name is Josh Corey, and we've got a nice, relaxed show for you today. We're going to try some open lines. I'm going to drop a link for Restream, and we're just going to chit-chat, see who's out there, see who wants to come hang with us. But let's see who we got hanging with us right now. Starting off with Mr. Walter Johnson. You might know him as Flat Earth Head. Here on the YouTubes, Walter, how has your Friday been, my good sir?
It's Friday, my dude. What do you think? It's awesome. End of the week, start of the weekend. We had a great show this morning. We're going to have a great show this afternoon. We've already got, we've already got some folks here helping us out, or some folks, a folk. It's a dude, man.
It's a dude.
We got some OG cats in the house, but I'm going to shut up and let you introduce this full house. But yeah, I had a great show this morning. Thank you all for being there. Share the show. I'm working on doing that myself. We're going to open the lines up. Possibly going to be hearing from Mr. Sheet this morning in our chat. Corey Sheet may pop in, hopefully, if his nap is over, like mine was. Anyway, we'll see. But the lines will definitely be open, and we hopefully will hear from some good folks. I'll shut up now.
All right. And I heart Winston. Let's say hello to Mr. Zachary Zabala, Z Squared. You might know him as Good Times for All here on the YouTubes. How about you, Zach? How was your Friday? Relaxing at least?
Hey Josh, how's it going?
Yeah, you know.
I wouldn't say relaxing. I laid around for maybe an hour after the show, did some stuff, cleaned up some stuff, did some whatnot, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna get an hour or 2 nap in, and then I went over to Just Jack's today and helped his wife Carolyn because he's having trouble with his feet, so he can't really get out and do too much yard work and stuff like that. But it's time to build the gardens, and she had this new plot all plotted out and ready to go. So we went and picked up some wood chips and got a big truckload and got those dumped, and then came back and cleaning up and all that good stuff, and yeah, ready to go. So I might not be super talkative. I'm kind of, I don't know. There's something about doing work though, physical labor. You feel good afterwards. You're tired, but you feel good. It's like your muscle released toxins or something. And I don't know. I don't know what it is. Yeah.
No, I think that's what it is. I think it's that lactic acid as it builds up and is released out, and it just starts to flush everything, and you just feel exhausted but empty and free. I don't know. I know exactly the feeling to which you are referring, though, sir. That is good stuff. Well, let's say hello to Mrs. Cammie Nodell, because I've not had a chance to speak to Cammie since last week. So, Cammie, my dear, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. I think endorphins was one of the words you were looking
Ooh,
for.
good one. Yeah, that's pretty good.
And it does. It releases and feels good. I think as you guys on Ironworks know, I've had a fun week here. We've grown crystals. Since I've been on the show last week, we've mulched beds. And when I say we, I mean Zach. But I was right next to a fabulous, learned it was a great blue heron bird, most beautiful, looks like a whooping crane, a blue whooping crane, dancing at our little dam around the property. We've had all kinds of things are blooming. It's nice. I feel like I'm coming out of hibernation and I'm ready.
Well, awesome. Yeah, my dad's got a whole rookery of blue herons down by his house here in Missouri. And once they all get to squawking, boy, they cause quite a ruckus.
They are the ones with the long legs. They have the blue herons and then the great blue herons, and the great ones are the ones with the long legs. Are these the long-legged ones you have?
They are.
They
not.
are amazing.
I mean, they're big birds. Don't get me wrong, but they're not
majestic,
like stork-like long legs or anything like that.
This one I would have to say was kind of stork-like long leg, wouldn't you say, Zach? I mean,
no.
Maybe not stork-like, crane-like. I don't know. I was in love. It was new for me.
Well, yeah, they have the real long legs compared to their body, but those storks, especially out in the Southwest, the white ones where their necks kind of curl,
right?
Those ones, yeah, the legs get real long. They're bright orange, and they get like, it's crazy,
like a flamingo.
Yeah, kind of the same build.
Right on.
I got a couple of pictures of those out there along the Colorado River in Arizona. It was beautiful out there.
Well, I did want to tell you, and I didn't get a chance, but the pictures that you took when I was looking to ID what the bird was, those pictures were really as good as it got. You should really put them up on the internet and make them available because they were beautiful for those who haven't seen them.
Those are amazing. I have shots of backdrops on my computer on a regular basis. Zach is quite skilled with that camera he has. In fact, one of my favorite shots I have of Zach is when he was here. And he's in the front of the boat when we're out on the Chapelai, and he's got that camera, and you can just see the intensity of the energy he's putting through that camera. It is amazing. Yeah, I'll share that with you guys in a minute when I find it.
Yeah. Well, this one, I don't know if you can bring up the birds that we just shot, but I looked on all of the, professional sites and that because it went through my mind, and it's like, the ones that you pay for the pictures, and it's like, this is nicer than any of those. It really has more personality and more depth to it. So
yeah, I don't know about all that. Thank you.
I do.
Writing the story of your adventures that's gotten you to where you are, sir, that path is a story that needs to be shared. And having those photographs as a document of what you, encountered.
Yeah, it's cool because when I see them, all these pictures, I'll go through them and look at them. Right. And it takes me right back to all these places.
There. So absolutely. That's what I'm saying about that picture of you and that camera. There's an energy that's part of me, to me, part of photography. 3 people can take the same shot, and one will be dead and lifeless. One will be like something you see in a Facebook whatever group or something. Oh, that's pretty. And the other looks like something that should be in a freaking art gallery because of the energy they put into the composition, and just you can feel it. Just like with drawing or a painting or anything else. It's part of the art, I think. But that's just me. Silver nitrate, just say it.
I did just drop those pictures in the Iron Rum only Skype chat. I have no way of putting them on the show right now because I'm out in the garage with my phone. But if you guys wanted to, argue with me that it's not the best, Zach, have people look at this and say,
the super zoomed in one, no, that one's definitely not the best.
Oh, I don't know. You see the face and the expression on the bird. It is. It is.
Yeah, but yeah, no, you can get them because I had to zoom in beyond the optical and I went into the digital. So, well, just being me, I can tell because I've taken so many pictures between the two. I usually don't like going beyond the optical, but I didn't want to scare it away. So I was like, okay, I'm not getting any closer. It's just going to have to be digital. But yeah, I don't care for that one too much. But the other ones, yeah, that one's not too bad.
Well, I think they're both fabulous.
I know there's a couple other people.
There sure are.
But,
There surely are. And since we just got done speaking to Kimmy, let's just stick in the same household and say hello to her charming husband, Mr. Bob Nodell, host of Globebusters here on the YouTubes. Bob, how are you, sir?
Well, I am doing just fine, Josh. Glad to be here, and thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure, anytime.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I'm just sitting outside on, actually, I'm in Cammie's office while she sits, I think, in the house somewhere, or maybe she's in the garage, but it's absolutely a gorgeous day today. It got up to over 80 degrees,
Wow.
and just absolutely loving it out here. It's gorgeous.
Man, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
I didn't mention we did the motorcycle ride today.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, that's right. We took the Harley out for a ride today and just went all over the place. Lots of fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep, that time of the year again. I really like spring. It's my favorite season, and so yeah, I want to get in as much riding as I can before summer comes because summer, especially here, my God, it gets really hot. But it should be fun riding at night, at least in the summertime. It'd be nice and warm.
I bet you that is a whole new motorcycle than it was when it was over there in Colorado. I bet it just drives like it's a whole new beast.
Oh, you cannot believe the difference in horsepower. We went from 5,300 feet to 800 feet. And the difference in performance, oh my God. I mean, the V-Rod's a fast bike anyway, but it's just ridiculous at this altitude. It's so much fun.
I bet it is.
yeah, he told me the first time when he went to go get on it, it almost scared him a little bit. It jumped away from him. He was like, whoa, wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, it just jumped right out from underneath me.
Yeah,
So,
that's a scary place to be in a scary situation on the back of a motorcycle.
yeah, well, I haven't crashed. Well, I haven't had any major crashes. I mean, I've dropped a bike before, but and that's never any fun. But hopefully, I'm not destined to be stupid and die on the back of a bike or on a bike because so many people, and you have to watch out for everybody else because you can never assume that they see you or anything like that. You've always got to be on guard, and you can never, ever, ever take that for granted because otherwise you'll wind up dead or injured or, something.
I never understood until someone told me why the Harley guys, some of these, they try to make their bikes as loud as possible.
Got to take those baffles out. Yep.
And it's because people don't see them all the time. But if they hear them, they're going to pay more attention.
That's it. Loud pipes save lives.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And the V-Rod really isn't that loud. I mean, I've got the factory pipes on it, and it actually sounds like more of a European bike because honestly, the engine that they put in the Harley V-Rod was made by Porsche, right? So it's got a Porsche engine in it, and it sounds like a Porsche. So it's really, really smooth, and on its acceleration and very powerful. And it does not sound like a typical Harley at all.
Yeah, that was the fastest bike Harley made, wasn't it?
Hands down, fastest bike they've ever made was the V-Rod.
That's exciting. And now you get to open her up and take advantage.
Yep. Yeah, and it's still not as fast as like a crotch rocket or, like a KZ1000 or something like that. But, those kind of those bikes would scare the crap out of you.
Yep.
Because, they are nothing but horsepower. And, they're built for speed and everything. But, those are also the kind of bikes that, guys go out there and they're, all about racing and speed. And those are the ones with, lots of guys kill themselves on them.
Yep. I was probably 16 years old doing like 90 miles an hour around a corner and felt the back tire start to skip out from underneath me. And it was about that time that I decided I'd probably never do well with a motorcycle and probably ought to just stay off of them from here on out, and pretty much have since then.
That was kind of where I landed on that whole thing. Yeah, get off the bike because you're way too adventurous with it.
Yeah.
And that was still when I was playing with dirt bikes. I only got on a street bike a couple of times, and knew better.
I crashed during Harley school. That was my crash.
Yeah, no kidding.
But,
They called me up one day and said, like, Cammy's in the hospital. I'm like, what? So turns out she got her left and her right mixed up and wound up hitting the brake instead of the clutch and put herself over the handlebars and split her lip wide open and knocked her tooth out. And it's like, oh, man.
Now, if anybody else goes to Harley school and notices on the bikes that the rearview mirrors are off of the training bikes, that is the Cammy rule. I mean, that is because of me. I inspired all of the rearview mirrors off of the training bikes in Harley school because it took my lip out, and had a really good plastic surgeon that put a million stitches and put it all back together. And that it was pretty much it was an adventure. When I did it, I didn't know that I was really hurt, and I didn't know that I was bleeding even. And then the guy looking at me, the instructor, I was going 5 miles an hour. I mean, I wasn't going fast, but he was looking at me, and I was like, "Oh, I'm bleeding. I'm missing something." He's like, "Yeah." They wanted to call an ambulance, and I looked at where I was, and it's like, "No, that's Aurora. That's an ugly hospital. I got a card ride to a hospital that I knew the emergency room had plastic surgeons and that in it, because it was on your face." But it was put together, and I don't think you can't overcome if you're dyslexic and you cannot tell left from right. There is a different definition between the clutch and the brake, and if you can't instinctively feel that, you shouldn't be riding a bike, and that's what that class taught me. So I should have known it beforehand. I knew that was my issue. I was their number one student going into it on the book work before we got to the actual writing part. So it was pretty funny. And they did welcome me back, and I said it wasn't a good idea because I couldn't overcome the problem. So they were saying like different colored gloves and that, and it's like, no, if you have to watch your hands, not the road, it's not.
Yeah, exactly. If it's not instinctive, then you just can't waste that time trying to decide what to do. It has to be immediate.
That was my husband that talked me through them, not the school people, but my husband saying, no, if you can't do it without looking, you can't do it.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it's not as though human beings have some innate ability at riding on two wheels at high speeds. All those instincts are learned and just done through practice and repetition until that muscle memory kicks in. And that's what you're probably looking for, is that muscle memory of knowing. You don't even have to think about, is it right hand or left hand, clutch or brake, which is it? That muscle memory just clicks and knows. One stops and one, helps go. But that's, again, just through repetition. And I guess that is the benefit of the gloves. While you're in the parking lot doing small circles, at least you're building that muscle memory and laying those neural pathways for your brain to be able to know which one is which. Yeah.
I would say that would be correct in almost everybody's case, but I'm like literally dysfunctional. They made jokes at me at parties saying like, hold your fingers apart and hold up your right or your left hand. I couldn't do it I was a party joke growing up, but with that, I have even thinking about it, I can write with both hands. I cannot.
Really? That's pretty awesome.
So I'm ambidextrous, but I can't look at my hand.
Ambidextrous, that's awesome.
But it takes out I don't, when you sit there and say turn as a left or right, to me it just blows my mind, because it's like, it's going left in one direction and right in the other. And it's, I don't have that separation. So I think that you're right. It's muscle memory, but I don't think if you completely have, a dysfunction or some type of block, where you can't process that. I don't think the motorcycle is a place to learn to get over it.
That's true. That is very true. Well, we do still have one person.
There's another. Oh, you beat me to it. There we go. Twisted minds definitely think alike.
I forgot about him. He's back by popular demand.
Oh, I didn't. I just knew we were going to get to him.
The Thunder from Down Under. Our buddy Rob. Rob, how in the world have you been, sir? How's life been treating you?
Actually very, very angry at this point. I
Like
I
you
just
won't shut
heard
up and introduce me.
I just heard my washing machine stop, and I forgot to put fabric softener in it.
Oh,
I hate that. Now
You gotta hate it.
go back onto the rinse cycle and put some stuff in. Else my undergarments won't smell like they should. Yes. Oh well. Gotta live and learn. Going back to the Harley stuff, I owned a Harley Bob many years ago. Got rid of it because I thought I was going to die.
Wise man.
Yeah.
That's it, right? That's
Yeah.
usually the
Yeah.
instinct to follow. Yes.
Yeah, I had a young girl in the middle lane, so it was a 3-lane sort of highway sort of road, and I had no baffles on my bike. Very loud bike, straight through pipes, cruising up on her right hand side, and in Australia, you know, you've got your driver's side on your right hand side, so I was right next to her bloody right ear. And I was cruising past her, and she changed lanes, and I had to jam on the brakes before she cleaned me up. Just missed me. How she didn't hear me? She must have had a music blaring.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. You just never know. You know, one of my closest things. Last time I was almost in a wreck was about 3 years ago. I was living up in the mountains, and you know, up in the mountains in Colorado, you still have a lot of wild elk and deer and stuff. And I was coming down this road from Evergreen, Colorado, back into Denver, and all of a sudden, up jumps this elk right up over the guardrail of the highway, and I actually everything went into complete slow motion, and I was just like, no,
That's when you know you're in trouble. When it all goes into slow motion, it's like, oh damn.
It did, and I cut and I missed him by maybe an inch, and he froze right in his steps. But man, that scared the hell out of me.
My dad hit a cow on a Triumph, probably back in the 60s. Went over the handlebars and broke both of his wrists. How he got by for the next 6 weeks, I don't know, but broke both of his wrists.
Oh God, that'd be horrible.
Yes, yeah, couldn't avoid it. Just went straight into it over the handlebars. Yeah. Oh well, yep. So no bikes for me anymore. But, yeah, just too dangerous, eh? Too dangerous.
Yeah, it is, and you know,
eventually going to crash. I did drop my bike. I had a road bike too, Bob, and I dropped it. Beautiful bloody CBR 1100. It was like a rocket ship. They shouldn't be allowed. Shouldn't be allowed to make them.
That's a crotch rocket for sure there.
Yeah,
Ooh, man.
like Honda, yeah. It was a rocket ship. I'd get to 160, 170 kilometers an hour.
Oh, dude, that's
in no time. And it's just bang, you're just there, and the front wheel's trying to lift off the ground, and it's just unbelievable. It's just a rocket ship. You know. But yeah.
And anytime you talk about riding among people, you've always got that one guy that has the horror story. My uncle went headfirst through a thresher, you know, or whatever. It's always extreme to the max, and it's like, yeah,
through a wood chipper and
that bike I had would do 300 kilometers an hour. They actually backed it off, so it was speed limited. And another mate had the same bike, and he had it going at. He saw the speedometer at 299, and that's as fast as he couldn't. It wouldn't go any faster. It had plenty of revs there to go faster, but they had speed limited it. That's how.
Yeah, put a governor on it. My truck has a governor at 85, I think, is fine. It won't go faster than 85.
What?
I don't care.
Yeah, that's fast for. That's a truck. Did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
big V8 truck. Yeah, it's not bad. Faster than I go. I don't ever go 85. Not anymore, at least.
All right. So I wanted to ask you guys. We were in chat just before, and I wanted to. So impromptu question, I suppose. I watched a video yesterday about your national anthem, and very, very inspiring story. Because I'm Australian, I've never ever heard this story before, and I heard it yesterday for the first time. I just wanted to know: do they teach this? Do they teach this at school?
I'm sure.
Which legend have you heard?
Do you guys know? So there's five of you Americans there. Do you know? You all know the story?
I would like to hear what you've heard, just to get a.
Well, I only watched the video, so I can only. I watched two when there was a little slight differences in one to the other. But Bob, you know the story well, do you?
Wow, I got a little crackling. The story of what? Well, I'm sorry. I missed that first part.
How the Star Spangled Banner came about.
Oh no, I have no idea.
This is Francis Scott Key, yes? Correct?
Yes. I thought you'd know, Josh. Yeah, so in I think it was 1813 or 1814, one of the two. The British were bombing the hell out of Fort McHenry in Baltimore, and they were there to knock over the flag. But once they knocked over this flag, there was a couple of thousand troops in this fort, and the English went in there with about 20 boats, 30 boats, and they just pounded them for about 25 hours or 24, 25 hours. And there were direct hits on your flag, but from what I'm saying is the troops were holding on. They were dying and holding on to the flag so it wouldn't fall over. It was a massive flag, but they were all there because they knew once the flag went down, that's it. They're finished. So just an inspiring story. It's the first time I've ever heard that. I've never heard anyone talk about it ever. So I'm just wondering how sort of popular it is because if you hear the words, so Francis Key, he was in one of the boats that was bombing the fort, and he was sitting there telling I think there was prisoners in the bottom of the boat, and he was telling the prisoners, "No, the flag's still up. The flag's still up." And at the end of this, the flag was still up, and he wrote the poem that turned into your national anthem. So
wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, well worth listening to. Well worth. It's only 11, 12-minute video. Just obviously do it in your own time. I'm going to get another strike on air. But absolutely inspiring. I heard it, and now I hear the words of your anthem. I'll know why. But yeah. So I thought,
and that's pretty much the story I knew just from being a history buff at school. I mean, I had an amazing history teacher. He was a jazz drummer. He wore like little jazz ties, and he had mutton chops, and it was like the 80s, so he was awesome, and he got me into history big time. And
that's the story of you guys don't like your flag touching the ground.
Now, here's a little anecdote that a lot of people don't know. It's actually, the tune is an old drinking song. I'm trying to find the name of the song right now while I'm looking around. Now, whether the actual details of that, I know I've heard, different versions of where the tune came from, and I can't remember what the other one was, but I know the drinking song version is definitely kind of ironic that, America tends to throw one back. Where is it? I'll find it. You guys talk.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that Yankee Doodle is actually like a hit piece on the United States? And we just kind of started singing it and made it our own. I always wondered, what are they talking about macaroni? At the end, stuck a feather in his hat and called him Macaroni. Well, it comes to find out that the Macaroni Club was the club for men who preferred the company of other men. And it was a real fancy, ritzy type, aristocrat type people. And that was the Macaroni Club. So they were really, calling us their macaronis pretty much. And and we just, hey, we like that ditty. Well, we're going to sing that now. And we made it our own, having no idea what they were talking about.
Yeah. Well,
so it's well worth now when you hear that. Go and watch that video. There's plenty there to choose from, but there's one there's about 11 or 12 minutes. Just go listen to it, and then you'll get more appreciation. You'll feel, I was inspired. Hopefully it's a true story. we know what the world's like, but hopefully it's a true story, and it should inspire everybody if you hear that story.
I highly doubt
I finally found it. It's the poem. The poem was put to an old English drinking song by John Stafford Smith called "To Anacreon in Heaven." It apparently had also been used previously by Defenders of John Adams for a song called Adams and Liberty. So that is the tune that we're singing. It's an old English drinking song. I'm looking at you, John Savage.
Now, I know growing up as a Colorado girl that America the Beautiful was written by the first woman that made it to the top of Pikes Peak, and that was her reaction, looking out and what she could see from Pikes Peak, and she penned it. Later on in life, it confused me when I heard God Save the Queen, and it was to America the Beautiful, and I never did connect. They never taught that part of it, but
No, I didn't find that out to the Queen's album.
Right. Yeah, that was
Not
like,
the opera
wow.
album. It was like, why is that song on here?
Why
So
is
I went
America the
digging
Beautiful? Why
into it.
are they
Right,
playing
right.
America? Yeah, when they're doing same at the Olympics and that it was confusing in hell at the Olympics because it's like, wait a minute, we didn't win. Why are they playing America the Beautiful? You know. So I don't know if you guys know, but yeah, we have America Beautiful written to the same tune as God Save the Queen.
Yeah, there's so many things like that you know, we have no idea. Everything with the hidden meaning in it, anything that has stood the test of time that has come through history, almost always has a completely different meaning than what we have come to understand about it. And that's just the way the Illuminati does business, you know?
Yeah, there was a show called As American as Apple Pie. And it was the only thing I could think of the guy, and he was an actor, but he was in the one where Kevin Costner's the catcher, Bull Durham. And he's like the pitching coach or something like that. Real obscure part in the movie. But he teaches a college course, and it's called As American as Apple Pie because apple pie is not American. I think it's Dutch or German, maybe something like that.
Australian. Be Australian for sure.
Yeah, probably. You know, but it's not American.
We made everything. We made everything.
Yeah, and the whole class is teaching all these falsities about American history and what we think it is and what we've been taught through pop culture and stuff like that. And the real story is, nothing. You don't find it in the history books.
That's kind of how that guy got me excited. I'm trying to remember his name, and I'm stuck. It's completely lost in the oblivion of the dust of time. But yeah, he really got me into looking for the story behind the story, especially doing papers and stuff like that. So he was great for that. There's a book I read, Lies My Teachers Told Me, and really breaks down a lot of the history and the lies that we were told in, trying to just keep the national agenda going and nationalism and that whole thing. There was no Paul Revere, Betsy Ross, all these kind of things. So there's also some apparently backstory of the guy that, Francis Scott Key apparently has slave issues.
He talks about Paul Revere. In the class, he talks about Paul Revere. He says, if he was real, he went from Boston to Cambridge, like 19 miles. The guy who really rode all the way down to Philadelphia, however, 300 and whatever miles, was Israel Bissell. And you will not find that guy's name in any history book anywhere. Paul Revere, he was in the club, He gets put in the history books. He gets songs written about him, tales and all that. Israel Bissell, yeah. Named a vacuum cleaner after him or something like that. I don't know.
Bissell. That's funny.
But yeah, history is, it's his story. That's all it is. That's why everybody needs to write their own history.
Yepper.
Sorry, I'm working on a little something behind the scenes here. I'm trying to get a little copy, not a copy, but a link to let everybody get access to this book. And I'm also dropping a link to a gentleman to get him in here. So y'all give me a minute.
Don't ask me to bring up another subject because that's it for me.
That was it. One and done.
The book is called Lies My Teacher Told Me by James Lewin. I'm assuming the name is, or Lowen maybe perhaps is the pronunciation. I'll just drop you guys a drop real quick on I guess Amazon. I don't know. Hang on.
Well, I've gone ahead and opened up the FlatLine. Anybody wants to give us a call? I guess I can drop the link.
Well, like I said, I've got one heading out right now. Give me 1 second.
Oh, well, then I'll just stand by.
Stand by. Yeah, you were hearing that crackling earlier. I think that was mine. I was messing with my cord because it wasn't. That's weird. You could hear it though because I was.
You should complain to your landlord about that.
No,
would I bring it up? I'd bring it up.
I might just tell you to fuck off, but never hurts to ask.
No doubt.
We have the solar return coming up here in 14 days. 2 weeks from today.
Yep.
Next Friday, but the following. This is going to be fun.
Yep, that is going to be cool. I can hardly wait.
People coming from all over the country again to this one. People
What's that
coming.
mean? Fill us in. I didn't understand that.
Oh, there's going to be people coming from, the state of Washington, which is like just about as far away as you can get. California, Arkansas. There's New York, Connecticut, Florida. Pretty much every corner of the country. There's going to be people from coming to South Carolina, Greenville, South Carolina. Yeah, March 26th and 27th. Solar Return. You can find tickets at flatearthfestivals.com. Are there still tickets available?
There are still tickets available. Right now, South Carolina has canceled any mandates on capacity and things like that. We're wide open. We're wide open here, and 2 weeks away. We're getting things ready. It's getting exciting here. This is a music and arts festival, so ODD is going to be there. Media Bear is going to be there. Flat Earth, the Earthworms. Jason Lindgren is going to be playing live. For all of you that don't know, he's a musician. My favorite Baldini is going to be doing a noodle sesh, doing the piano. I can't wait on the keyboards. We have people with art going there, people with tuning forks, all kinds of different fun things. Zach and I will be doing again our How the World Works exhibit, where we'll have gyroscopes and Polaroid filters and magnets and all kinds of fun toys, and let you do hands-on. I'll have miroscopes, UV lights. Again, just fascinating fun stuff for people at home right now. If you happen to have a UV light available, and I was just looking on Amazon and found out that I can get like little key lights that are just fun for 80 cents a piece if you get like 15 of them. So these are they don't have to be expensive, but take them out right now if it's spring for you. Things that fluorescent might surprise you. Chlorophyll, so you can kind of take it out to your new blooming plants, and chlorophyll will fluoresce bright red. So it's really pretty to take out the UV lights at night in your garden and see. It looks to me like
I've never done this or heard of this. That's amazing.
And I think you can kind of tie in, or what I'm starting to get a feel of is how much chlorophyll is in the plant and how good it is for you. And so like the regular grass doesn't seem to have any life to it. It doesn't, you look at it and it really doesn't do anything. And yet, like Zach would say, the things that they call weeds and things that you're told to pull out of your yard that you can pull the leaves off and make salads and eat. Things that they tell us to take out of our yard to make room for grass that you can't eat, you can't process. No good. You can't feed yourself. And if you take a UV light and see, it's almost like it's their blood running through it and things that would be good. But they glow bright red, not just a little, but bright red.
Yeah, that blew my mind. It's not a little red. These things are, you don't see green at all. It
glows like a ruby glowing. So yeah, you would never guess, if you looked at that, you would never guess that these were green when you turn the lights on. You're like, no, there's no way.
I will definitely have to do this now because I've got a little portable one floating around here. Speaking of red, I see a gentleman that just pulled up in a red vehicle. Welcome to the show, Horace Sheet. How are you, friend?
How's it going, everybody? What's up, Walt and Zach, Josh? I see Robin here. Hi, Cammy, Bob, everybody, and Iron Realm Media. What's up, y'all? It's been a while, and
Long time.
Long time,
Yeah.
friend. Too long. Definitely.
Where's the Valley Girl?
Out.
The Valley Girl.
Girl.
Oh, I think you're talking about. Are you talking about this one? This one here that got me in trouble.
There she is. Yeah, let's not get her in trouble.
Not get her in trouble.
For
No.
you or anyone else. We're already being punished. We'll be 4 channels back.
Don't tempt me.
Well, how have you been, friend? I hear you're doing some video editing. You've been making some content, dude. I can't wait to see the epic when it finally unfolds.
This stuff. I've been doing some really funny stuff. Let me see if I can get this one going here. Like I have. Which one do you want in the car? Do you want me or do you want the girl me? I've been doing some funny stuff with some snap cam filters, guys. This stuff is wild.
That's creepy. That's
That's
creepy as
awesome.
all hell.
Hey, you don't make a bad looking girl,
I
right?
was going to say, you're probably breaking a bunch of dudes' hearts out there. You better stop.
Oh my God, y'all need to see the stuff I put out on. It's called Legendary Trolling on Chat Roulette, and it's on my page. It's like 20 minutes of solid. You better go pee first before you watch it. Laughter, because those guys are flirting with me, and I'm breaking hearts. Oh, it's hilarious. But you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking about. It's a culmination here. I've been trying to figure out why the hell am I having so much fun with this? Well, think about how I got started flat smacking on that platform with all the news.
The news desk and stuff. I loved it.
All that was hooks, to get people talking to me, Hori, the guy. But now, if I could play the girl, I don't read anything special. I'm hooking them because they think I'm a girl.
So I got to ask you, Hori, what voice do you use? Because you sound pretty masculine still.
Here comes.
Usually now I got 2.
Oh, it's amazing, Bob.
We had a fan call in the other day to the show, actually, a little Valley Girl, and kind of got us all wondering, well, who the hell is this? So, yeah, it's pretty scary.
Sometimes I use this one here if I just want to sound like Shanice.
But I've got this one also. Let's see. It's Man to Woman 2, I think. I think if I click this, now it goes.
And sometimes I can be best friends. I don't know which one's better. Would you tell me?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's hours of fun. I'll grab my family. I'll tell my aunt or my cousin to come here. I'm like, come out back with me. Let's take a couple shots and let's mess with people on Chat Roulette. And it's hilarious. Sometimes I put a wig on just to add to the effect. But it's great now that I'm growing my hair out. I don't even need the wig. The natural filter actually looks okay. But I'm gonna use this to capture people's attentions, go into a flat Earth conversation, and what a great video that would make. Or series of videos to blow their mind with flat Earth facts, catfishing them as a girl, and then blow their mind when I release the fact that I'm a guy.
And it shows them how
whammy.
easily they're fooled. How easy
exactly
daily basis with the screen in front of them. How easily the manipulation takes place. Because that's epic.
You see, yeah, that's exactly right.
Next, he's going to be going on there as a NASA astronaut, and making people think he's a NASA astronaut.
What an idea! Get a bald wig on there and say you're one of the twins. I'm the third brother, and they didn't talk about.
Well, I already
control.
did that.
They keep me in a lab somewhere.
I already did that with the Avatarify program. Did you know about that, Bob? Where you could just take a picture of anybody. I got Rodney Dangerfield, Pee Wee Herman. I got Scott Kelly, and I was in ISS as Scott Kelly saying all this stuff, all space, the ISS, it's all bullshit. Yeah, I even did a flat smack, and it was really something I didn't mean to do, but I was on Chat Roulette as Pee Wee Herman in the Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse, and it looks so real. You could turn your head, and you're moving Pee Wee's face from the neck up. It's
pretty,
blow your mind.
Pretty crazy, yeah.
And had this little kid just sitting there, just laying on his bed, kind of falling asleep, and then all of a sudden he perks up. He's like, Pee Wee. And I start flat smacking him about 5 minutes in. That's so funny, man. But I got a lot of tricks up my sleeve. I just need to pull the trigger.
That is awesome. You have been really good with the CGI and all of that stuff, so it doesn't surprise me. Very
Thanks.
funny.
You know what it is? It's just I see something somewhere on like one of these channels, one of these new age modern channels, and they have this magic trick, and I'm like, how it's doing that? And they will tell you, they covet that, they just hold on, that's theirs, But I find out, I Google the hell out of it, I'm like, Avatarify. I thought, I'll just download this program and install it. Oh, I had to install a Python, which made me look into like DOS commands. I'm running DOS commands to download stuff from FTP servers, installing scripts. I'm just like,
so you're
God.
over my head now. Yeah.
I'm like,
I was going to think maybe a graphics card and I'm good to go.
Oh,
apparently
no. No, this thing requires like some crazy stuff. I mean, thankfully there's a whole tutorial page. It's really easy to follow, but there's no way I could have figured that out without this page. And the results are absolutely mind blowing. And one of the things I'm really going to try to do is like get somebody on chat roulette, talk with them and make sure like they have a good face, a good camera and everything. And I'll take a snapshot of them, edit it real quick, stick it in the folder, and then like switch my camera and bam, I'll be talking as them. And
So
all just out of nowhere.
All modern computers now they run DOS, huh?
Well, this was in the command prompt shell, the Windows shell. So like I
yeah,
had to type.
It's like
a
base function. Wow.
Yeah, I have to go like to Windows. I have to open up Windows shell and type cd ... to get to the C drive, and then navigate cd Windows users. Blah blah blah. I have to do all that and then launch a bat file. Yep.
That's like taking me back to 1996.
Oh yeah, it took me back to
they've had the command shell forever.
Right. You can really mess your computer up with that. And I have before. I've had to completely. I was trying to fix Cortana.
I watched my brother break his.
It's terrible. Don't mess with it unless you know what you do.
That's awesome. So what state are you living in now, Jorge?
I'm in Louisiana.
You're in Louisiana? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm about 20 minutes from New Orleans.
Are you gonna be able to make it? To South Carolina?
For Flattoberfest? No, I won't be able to make that.
Bummer.
Yeah, but I'll be there in spirit. Y'all gonna live stream that like some other stuff y'all do, or what's going on?
Probably. Yeah, I'm sure somebody will be. I may do it myself. Just cause.
Just cause, right? Yeah.
Just cause. Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
I'll most likely tune in. That's exciting. Y'all been planning this for several months now, and I've been hearing about it for a while.
Yeah. See, we did a Flattoberfest last October, and then the October before that. So this is actually, I think, Karen's third event that we've done this. And this isn't a Flattoberfest. It's called the Solar Return, but still, it's same basic thing.
Yeah, same, different, but it's got more of a musical bent this time for sure. I'm excited to hear about it. I would love to get there. We just need to rodeo up, man. Make a road trip out of it from Louisiana and make it happen.
Hey, if y'all come this close,
Yeah, well,
I got time. I just don't have the way. I can do it.
There you go.
That's me
well,
too.
you should get in your car and road trip it.
Oh, my vehicle's so sad right now. So sad.
Man, if my electric disco scooter and boombox can make it,
right?
Can you imagine me showing up with this thing? Yeah, but it only gets 12 miles. It's terrible.
That'd be awesome. I think doesn't Rose 777 live in New Orleans?
Her and Jason, yeah, they're right there.
That's what I thought.
Really?
Maybe we could
know somebody.
We could roadie for Jason and be his road crew. Man, we're gonna make this happen. I feel it. I feel it coming. I feel it coming.
Ooh. If I do, I'm bringing fire. Spin some fire.
That's what's
there
up.
You go.
That's what's up. I know you can DJ for sure.
Me? DJ?
Excuse me.
Not me. I can't DJ. I'll spin to your music.
So we've been talking behind the scenes and in chat a lot about some of the astral regions, sir. And that's something I definitely want to dig into with you. You pointed me to some channels, which I don't have handy, didn't bring them up, so I don't want to mispronounce anybody's names. But definitely it's an area that is just one of the things that's been my life. I mean, that's been something that's been part of my life since I was a child, since I was a kid. So people ask, how do you access these regions? Is it like lucid dreaming? It's different, I know. Is it astral projection? There's parts of that involved in there. There's dream work that's different than lucid dreaming. There's all kinds of layers and levels to this thing. And just, I don't know, like, what's your history with it? Where did you start? How did you get into it? What got you into that astral region? Was it a natural occurrence, one of those self projections, or did you have it as a kid? How did it happen?
Oh no. I learned about it from a friend of mine. I was actually, I don't know if you remember that old Ultima Online game, that mass multiplayer online game come out before everything like EverQuest and World of Warcraft. Well, I was playing, I was actually hosting my own server, and I had a scripter making some really advanced, cool stuff. Almost added like a Diablo 2 style random loot drop system in a game like Ultima. It was just unheard of, RNG randomized loot tables. It was great. Anyway, this dude is a genius, and I really knew he was very, very intelligent, because this dude was coding some stuff that's just bizarre, and it was working, and so I knew he had a brain. Well, anyway, he was telling me about one day he was so mad, he's like, I'm gonna mail my girlfriend. He had a long distance girlfriend. I'm gonna mail my girlfriend back a whole bunch of her letters, all cut up in a big fat effing envelope, and I'm done. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, I mean, I've never seen the guy mad. He never blew his top before. I was like, dude, calm down. Maybe you should meditate or something. And I didn't know even what that word really meant. But he's like, no, man, I don't meditate. I astral project, bro. And I said, what the hell's that, bro? And he starts going on about, I can, go out of my body and fly around, go through walls, stop time, see, individual raindrops if I want. Like, okay, bro, yeah, it's
Sure, buddy.
Sure, buddy. He really sounded like a kook head. And I said, my next question was, okay, well, tell me how to do it. I'm gonna give this a shot. And he was nice enough to actually give me like something to try, which was very simple. And it was actually my first video I ever made on how to astral project. It was a simple breathing exercise, and I did it 7 days in a row. And to be honest, the first time it worked was the 7th day. I just kept falling asleep, but at the 7th day, I realized what falling asleep felt like after trying so hard not to, and feeling the drowsiness come on and all these kind of weird sensations right before losing consciousness. I started to pick up on a lot of things that I wasn't consciously aware of, because, I mean, if you're trying to go to sleep, you're not sitting there like watching your sleep process like a hawk. I mean, you put your head on the pillow, you close your eyes, and you start drifting. Your mind just starts thinking about like work you did today or what you got to do tomorrow, and then boom, you dream it. But when you try to astral project, you have to be aware of those thoughts, not sink into them, and kind of keep snapping your consciousness back awake. So the breathing exercise would teach you to count your breaths. And so it's like breathe in, breathe out, count 1. And you do it again, in, out, count 2. So what happens is on each exhale too, you relax more and more of your body. So that puts your body to sleep, and the counting keeps your mind awake. And that's just enough to snap you back to consciousness. And once you do that after your body has gone to sleep on itself, that's when the magic happens. You got your vibrations, your full body paralysis. Scary stuff can happen here. And scary stuff did, because when I thought I was going to fall asleep, I like mentally called out. I was so mad at the universe. I'm like, if this is supposed to happen for me in my life, if this is a real freaking thing and I'm spiritually meant to do this, like, it better happen tonight. I'm never doing this again. Well, I do recommend instant manifestation and calling out to the universe, but don't be mad, because if you're mad, you're angry, you might have an experience like what I'm about to tell you. So I did that. I was mad, about to fall asleep. Next thing I know, I can see, and I'm looking at my feet, and there's this huge beach ball thing in my vision, like right above my feet. It was like this big beach ball. It was sucking silver black spiky particles in it. I didn't know what the hell it was doing. Everything was more of a silvery black color too. I didn't have much color. And then this thing, and it was ominous. It was like not cool. And then the worst part about it was sucking me towards it very slowly and curling everything backwards. My fingers would not, instead of going that way, would curl them backwards. My wrist, my ankles, my back, my spine was the worst. You could feel it. It didn't hurt. It was just a very uncomfortable feeling to be rolled into a ball, getting sucked into a ball. And I come to find out, it's because I was so pissed, and I put my anger into that, and I must have attracted this thing. I don't know. But ever since that, like, I tried to wake up, right? I'm trying to wake up from this experience. Finally, I can't. I'm like stuck. I can't move. I can't scream. There's no sound coming out. It was a very scary experience. Finally, I wake up from it. Now, about 80, 90% or more of people will wake up from that experience and go, I'm never doing that again, right? Not this guy, no. I was like, hell yeah. bring that on. Like, I want more of that in my life, like whatever that was. And ever since that day, nothing has, approached me like that. No kind of negative entities. Like, so that's how I got started. That's how I
That was your only
these.
negative entity?
My first experience was the worst, most terrible thing. And since then, it's all been good. So that's why I tell people don't fear anything anymore. Because
absolutely,
I mean, I should be fearing the hell out of stuff like that in the astral, right? No, man, lose the fear. You gain your armor, man. You gain your power like that. That's my best advice to anybody going into this kind of stuff. But yeah, that's how it started.
Well, I know breath work is something that can definitely attract things. I guess it's kind of like one of those things where you're changing your frequency, and it's almost like you're lighting up and things out there see it and start heading your way to go see, okay, what's all this bright light I'm seeing suddenly? When I played with breath work, that was something I didn't get into until probably my mid-20s, almost like I was 30 probably, trying to learn ways to deal with some of the things that are just out there. Because when I figured out that this wasn't, and again, like there's the conscious stuff I got into as a like probably 12-year-old to like that age going forward, reading on lucid dreaming and practicing that with a friend. But even before that, having experiences that were just not dreams, and I knew they weren't dreams, and I was like surrounded by things I could understand but were different. Like I would be at grandma's house, but everybody at grandma's house was all rainbow colored, and I didn't know why. And everything at her house that was like electrical had this weird gray thing around it, and I didn't know what that was. But trees had a different weird thing around. I didn't know what auras were. I was, a kid. And things like that had been going on. But then that's kind of my
in
family.
Waking consciousness, you were seeing this in like real
waking this was when I would be in sleep. I would be as a kid, going to bed. I would think they were dreams, But then as I explored things like, believe it or not, Dr. Strange comics as a kid, learning about those things he talked about in those books really kind of got me into the idea that I could explore it rather than just be subjected to these experiences. So I started trying to basically do that. And then and that was, like I said, probably at like 8 to 10, that age when it was really something I was reading in these comic books. I know it sounds ludicrous, but it's true.
Oh, no, the comic books have a lot of juice, man, especially Dragon Ball Z stuff. And I don't like to say, Dragon Ball Z looked so crazy looking with all the energy balls and stuff like that. But no, they're spitting truth. There's a lot of truth.
Right. But then there were also the encounters that would happen that were like, things chasing me and nightmares and all that. But then I would have those experiences when I would be awake. Here would be a dragon creature coming out of the center of the fan, looking around my room, looking at me and going on through the outer wall. And that happened numerous times. Now looking back on that idea of the energy vortex of that magnet field created by that fan motor with all those wires wrapped and knowing that's creating this energy focal point, who knows what could pass in and out through those places. But that happened on a regular basis as a kid, all the time.
And you're saying things like that happen when you were awake, or?
Oh yeah, dude. Like I said, I had a very energetic.
Very interesting.
My grandmother would have encounters with all kinds of critters that would, be outside her house. Relatives would visit when they would die and let her know on the way through, and we would, get the call the next morning. But she would have already told us about it when she woke up because they had visited. My aunts, my uncles, they would all have the ball. Like when you talked about that ball and the balls of light in the house, not ghosts, energy thing, lots of energy things growing up. So I was already immersed in that coming into the world. I'm sure that's why I'm in the family I was in. But learning that it was something I could control, that didn't come until, like I said, probably when I was approaching teenage years, which then there's the whole idea of hormonal changes that takes place. The pituitary gland really starts firing up hugely. And, the chakra system being connected to the endocrine system and all that stuff. At that time of your life, a lot of people, some people experience it with outer manifestation, like you call it poltergeist stuff, but it's really the energy that's just kind of like almost a Kundalini experience because of the changes happening at the teenage years. You know, when
doesn't that also happen again around 35-ish?
Yes, sir. That's
right. And I'm telling you what, I correlate with what you said there. It was 18 was definitely a year when I got into astral projection at 16. And my whole life changed. I became I quit my dad's chicken business, raising thousands of chickens for Sanderson Farms to go get slaughtered. I was like, I didn't feel right anymore with my energy at 16. I had, evolved past that real quick.
That was a huge part of it too, feeling everybody's energy.
Yep. And then now, dude, I mean, stuff I'm so intuitive now. I almost know who's calling me. I mean, I know stuff and I'm like, it's freaky. It's definitely another door's opening. I can feel it. I'm 34. So it's about that time. Yeah.
Well, it's definitely something that, I encourage a lot of people that haven't experienced it to definitely dig into it, but definitely go into it with, some of the stuff that hopefully we can help them with today, ideas of these things that can be encountered that aren't always that, it's kind of like going into the whole playing around in the Ouija board area or anything that kind of, not that it opens a portal, but it just makes things notice you, brings things to your attention or their attention to you because your frequency is changing and your vibration is changing. And it's like I said, like wiggling
it's like putting on the ring in the Lord of the Rings and the wraiths can
that, and it boom, and now they know you're there, right? Or there's that movie, what was it, From Beyond, with the frequency generator. And suddenly the creatures in the room saw him too, and started coming after him. So that idea of this is it's part of who we are. It's part of how I think we come in and out of this 3D reality. But definitely be careful. Hello, Cammie.
Yeah.
I'll shut up because
Hi.
I know me and Lori are just wrapped into this.
No, I'm very, very into it. What I was just going to say is, and I don't know if you've ever done this, but this might really help you. Another area you were talking breathing exercises, but another is like visual training. And I think it's important to like train and test yourself and see what you're seeing, because when you see what you're seeing visually going into this, you know what you're missing. So in other words, do a visual test. So right now, close your eyes. We'll do like a little exercise right now and just demo it if that's okay.
I'm down.
Okay, so close your eyes. Imagine a gray box, a fuzzy gray box. Everybody got a fuzzy gray box? Now we're going to throw one test on it. Put a shiny red apple in the box. Now, a lot of people are not going to see a shiny red apple no matter how much they try.
Oh, wow. That's too easy for me. I guess I'm too good at it.
So some people it's going to be really easy. Other people are only going to get a gray box. Some people are going to get a gray box. And if you're getting a gray box and some things fluttering, I would say, first of all, lose the red and just go for a round circle with the black outline. Go for something simpler. And this would be like fine tuning and working your way and seeing what you can see. Can you get the black circle? Now in the black circle, instead of putting red in it, try for purple. Go for an easier color. Work your way through down the spectrum. Red's going to be like the hardest one to pop into your brain, and see how you can fill in pictures and see where you can fill in and not fill in, and test yourself. And like when you're saying auras and rainbows and that, be aware of, like, test and fine tune that like you do with your breathing on what you can see. And when going into a meditation, that's another way of doing it. Why doing your breathing exercises is focusing how you're picturing lights and things coming together and going through the steps. But that will help, because you're going to find that you're going to miss areas and try more complex shapes, then put in more colors in that. But as you try to add and subtract from it, you can see what's where your blind, where your trouble spots are, and you can bring things more into focus by doing it, by being aware of the quality that you have control in this. You have a lot of control. You have in your dreams.
That is so similar to part of the remote viewing training that you go through, and talk about when you're trying to hit these targets, you're not always going to be able to get it as just like a 3D rendered image. It'll be colors, or it'll be sensation. You know, you're building it from this kind of like guided imagery, almost like you just did. That's
right, and different sensations and that. So hone in and see what you're see what you're hitting on, but also be aware that when you focus in, you can see your blind spots. Do you know what I mean? You can feel.
Yeah, very good,
right.
very good exercise to build your visualization abilities.
And it's a muscle that you don't use.
Mhm.
It's a muscle you don't use, and it's
and flex it and build.
Well,
it
we
up.
stopped when we were kids. We stopped playing imaginary games so much. That's
when
why
when that imaginary
trouble.
friend left, there it all kind of went with it. Yeah.
With it, and when you do that too, remember that like when you do this and you build more complex, and it's hard to get all the pieces and the detail in real life, you're really missing a lot. You know, it's a reflection of what's going on. So be careful. There can be things that can hurt you in that you're missing. So be careful with your guided and your astral, that the more blind you go into it, the easier it is to be attacked because you'll have blind spots. So it can be a good or a bad thing, but you can try to cover your blind spots and be aware on all senses, before making a huge leap would be advice. Do your homework, do your breathing, do your colors, put time in.
I did want to say before I forget this, when Walt was saying about breathing and energy, like how doing a breathing exercise could make you sort of visualize on the other side, like the wraith thing, the ring. When I was describing the breathing technique, there was really no like energy work involved in that particular one, but there's other stuff called, I think, pranayama breathing, which can really take you to that next level of trance. It involves, holding one nostril and breathing out, or breathing in and then holding the other. Like alternating nostril breathing is basically what pranayama is. So that's something that can help too. But when you apply energy work to the breathing exercise that I described, you can totally, like, for every inhale that you do, imagine white light coming into you, purifying everything. Your exhales are now toxic black clouds. You're releasing bad toxic energy and stress and muscle tension, all that. You can add that sort of visualization. And it is a lot like pretend. You have to use your imagination.
But that's what we're doing here. I think creating this place is just imagination. I think that's how we're here, One of my favorite ways to visualize that exhale is that the movie Green Mile, when
yep, exactly,
those things. It's like, it's like, there it is. Get all that crap out. Yeah,
that's exactly it. Yeah.
And it comes in sparkly and beautiful when it comes in.
Wait, wasn't he doing some kind of energy healing or something?
He was taking people's bad shit,
pulling that negative out and spitting it out. That's literally spitting truth. That's
it. Yep.
I have to do that when I pull out a headache or something. I don't just pull it out and absorb it. I pull it out and I throw it away. That's the same.
You do Reiki on people like that too?
Oh yeah, actually, earlier
playing in this stuff usually figures out they can manipulate those fields as well.
Again, and then Reiki was discovered by me doing astral projection. And I'll tell you this real quick. It's really interesting how I discovered this is such a tangible thing. It's not pretend, really. Like, I had a lot of experiences with waking back up from a trance state, doing this breathing exercise in school, in class. I mean, nobody's going to teach me fake-ass American history, pardon my French, at 7:30 a.m. in the morning. No, not happening for Hori Sheet. So I would just sleep that whole first class. I was getting my sleep, baby, and stay up too late playing Diablo 2. You know how it went. But anyway, I would have a lot of these paralysis experiences in class, and I would see through my eyelids and be paralyzed in my body. And a lot of times I get these vibrations when I would enter that state. And one time I wanted to explore what the vibrations were of this experience. Usually I would get them and it would just be a trigger to let me know, oh, I can start trying to exit and move out now. But this time I was like, let me this stuff. And so when I got the vibrations in the back of my neck, I just sat with that and I felt them and I got into them and I increased them. I realized I can make them stronger. And I'm like, whoa. And then I moved them around. I made the vibrations move through my body anywhere I wanted. It was like a muscle. I was like, wow, this is so fascinating. So then I went back on the same forum that I was doing all my other astral projection and technique, asking people questions, research. And I happened to find an energy like subcategory. They called it Ki, Kai, Sai. They had all these names for it. And they were like, yeah, it's all the same thing. We have different names for it. And I'm like, what is this stuff? And oh yeah, the vibrations you feel, that's this energy in your body, your chi, your body's natural prana, all these names for it. Yeah, you can move it around. You can do this with it. You can heal people with it. You can do tantra, give orgasms with it. You can. I'm like, well, yeah, slow down. You just gave me a whole ballpark of stuff to try now. And so once I heard my crazy friend telling me about astral projection, and obviously that worked, and I've got all these experiences in my belt. So, but let me explore, you know, uh, energy stuff. So I started making energy balls in my hands, and I started with telling people, hand in here though. What do you feel? And just had no idea what they would feel, but everybody kept giving me kind of the same thing. Oh, wow, it's real hot, or ooh, it's tingling. And so that was the thing. And so I started doing it to everybody. And then my mom one night, actually, just to finish this up, is after all those parlor tricks in school, doing this and that to this one and that one on the bus and class out at recess, I was no shame. I'm like, yo, give me your hand. What do you feel when I do this? 75% of people felt something. 10% of those people actually, or less maybe, would feel it really, really strongly, which fascinated me to no end at the time. Anyway, my mom had a real bad migraine one night, and she's like taking BC powders and everything, and she was about to take a BC powder, and I'm like, hey, Mom, can I try something on you? Yeah, what? Can I see if I can pull your headache out? Sure, whatever. She kind of laughed it off. About 25 seconds later, I felt, hot. I felt prickling. I felt all energy stuff that I would feel in other people's hands when I would do the parlor tricks, as I call them. And I realized her head was way hotter than everything else. So I took that heat out and that prickly out and that just whatever didn't feel right. I felt her shoulders. I felt the energy there, and it felt one way. Her head, neck, everything felt not the same. So I just smeared the good energy into where the bad stuff was, threw all the bad stuff away. And I didn't know what I was doing. I said, hey, Mom, how do you feel? She freaked out. She turned around. Her jaw fell to the floor. She's like, oh, my God, my headache is completely gone. That was my first energy healing. Freaked my mom out. And ever since then, it moved on to, whoa, can I heal your nausea? Can I heal your joint pain? Can I heal your tooth pain? I stopped the nosebleed less than 24 hours ago. First time ever. So that, wow, But on my cousin, she asked me to. She's like, you think you could stop a nosebleed with that energy? I was like, I don't know. We'll try it. Worked.
So that's neat that they are open enough with it to ask you those kind of questions.
Yeah. Even my cousin, dude. My cousin's like, he's open to it, but he's skeptical. He had this foot problem for like days. He comes back and he's hanging out with me, and I opened up to him. I was like, hey, you want me to check out the foot thing? And I don't ever do energy stuff to you, but I'll check it out. Well, he went from complaining about it the whole time he was over to him forgetting about it and then walking outside and stretching and going, oh, man, it's gone. Oh, it's gone. And like it lasted for like a good whole day. But, it's been something he was like going to the doctors and stuff for already. It's been that bad. So this stuff, sometimes it's going to fix you. It's going to last. I fixed my aunt's knee pain for almost 2 whole years. She was getting massages from professional people that the city paid her because she fell in New Orleans and hurt her knee. So the city was giving her money for professional massage. Nothing was working. Pulled the pain out of her, didn't even touch her knee. And she couldn't believe it. She went and walked her dog. I can't believe it. My knee feels great. She was crying. She was limping and crying before I did that. And I can't believe this. I'm going to walk my dog. I can't believe this. My knee feels fine. She went and walked the dog, didn't hurt for 2 more years. So this is I have so many experiences like that under my belt with this Reiki stuff. I can go on and on. It's amazing what we can do. We're all energy beings. We don't do this stuff. We don't know we can. They don't teach this, and there's a reason why they don't.
Well, they not just that they don't teach it. They do everything they can to keep us from remembering it. I mean, as kids, it's natural. My son, that was his thing as a kid. He would just walk up and literally wherever you were hurting, he would put his hand there. The first thing, he would just do it, and you would feel it just start dissipating out. It was just natural for him, And then as teenager and school and etc., that started fading away, and I kept telling him, "Don't let that go. Hold on to that, dude. That's you. That's your energy. That's your power, And he's back there again now. He's got it like it just pours out of him. So yeah, if they aren't reminded, they definitely will have it systemed out of them. That's what the system does.
It was beautiful to see my children. One was 5, the other one was 3. And my little boy falls, busts his knee, a common thing, right? And I instantly get up and go over there to help him because he's bawling, down, tears down his face. I said, I was going over there to do some Reiki on it, calm him down. But before I could get there, my daughter was 2 feet away from him, and she says, "Oh, come here, brother, let me pull it out." And he lets her do it, and she just goes, And okay, all gone. And he looks and he's like, yep, all gone. Tears went away, went back to playing. Me and my girlfriend at the time looked at each other and it was the most beautiful thing I think we had seen in like years. It was so beautiful to watch. And it was natural for them. Yeah.
And a lot of this that we're talking about is something that's so natural. And as we talked about again, the idea of flexing these muscles and practicing practical. It's such a big area. There's like, okay, so there's
so
ways
much.
you can practice working into lucid dreaming that are very physical, like checking reality, like Cammie was just talking about a minute ago. One of the things that I've used myself, draw a C in the middle of your hand for consciousness and look at it throughout the day, especially in school age, because you could just sit and draw on your hand easily. Look at that C throughout the day, and that way when you're in the dream zone, you look at your hand, because the hands in dreams are always a tell. They're not going to look right. They'll be weird. They'll not be your hands at all. They'll be something completely not there. They won't even come into reality because you're no longer physical in this realm. This kind of just
that
different
triggers
ways
your
tell
consciousness.
you
That wakes you up in the
not
dream.
it, right? And now
Yeah.
you can start working with, okay, now I know I'm here. What can I do? And you'll do something. You will suddenly just start flying and shock yourself back into awake. Oh man, that was cool. And want to get back there. And now you're excited. And now you can't get back there because you can't get back to sleep. But if you keep a dream journal right there by the bed, and I would say it's easier these days with phones because you can just grab your phone and electronically record yourself. But I still like to have the old school pencil paper and do it that way because it's more energy and organic. Remember, and you got to do it quick because that stuff goes away within like 10 seconds. Yeah. It starts fading. Truly.
Yeah.
So grab
your dreams will fall apart as soon as you wake up. If you dreamt anything, if you don't write it down or really, really sit there and ponder it, it's going to fall apart like a memory, like made of, I don't know, whatever falls apart.
Whatever,
like,
right? Gossip.
You know what I'm saying?
It definitely is something you can build back up, though. It's almost like a map, a pattern, a thing that if you work with it, you can go back to those dreams, and it starts to become a therapeutic thing. You can go to bed with an issue or a problem and work on it. Like personal things, family things, that kind of stuff. So that's a lot of the lucid dreaming area, definitely. And then, like I said,
what are the dreams that you do remember?
What now?
Like I have certain dreams, like from when I was a child.
When you were a kid, those dreams to me were always the ones that turned lucid. The ones that I can remember vividly and like feel those dreams even as we speak. The flying through the pasture at Uncle Quentin's house. The fish that attacked me while I was flying through Uncle Quentin's fields in the air. It was an airfish. That kind of stuff. I remember it vividly when it bit into my back. So, I mean, there's definitely things out there that will mess with you if you're not careful. But that's the other side of this, is learning that. Just like here, if you don't keep your guard up, this world has things that will mess you up. There's people here that are just not good people. They're evil. They'll hurt you. There's animals here that'll take you the fuck out. There's situations that if you stupidly approach them, you will be dead in seconds. While that's not necessarily as deadly a situation in those realms, it's definitely a situation where being a warrior mindset and being ready for it is always a good idea. And there's tricks. There's ways that you can learn to defend, attack back, defeat.
Oh yeah.
Be a freaking beast, a warrior, a badass.
Can I just tell you one of the things?
Go, yeah. I feel like I want to shut up because I love this stuff.
No, I'm loving it. I mean, it just prompts me to say things that I don't want to forget because it's super important on what you just said. Like if you have a little trouble believing that you're this more powerful being than some of these other scarier things or things you might be scared of if you were approached by, like if you're having trouble believing in your own power, that you are way powerful than these little black entities or negative entities, whatever you see them as. If you have any trouble with that, well, put this stuff to the test on the physical realm in full waking consciousness. For example, when my friend called me, she was at a house that she'd she was hearing voices and things were moving, electronics were turning on and off, ghost stuff. And but it was getting real bad. This voice kept getting closer and closer and whispering in her ear at like the craziest times and really spooking her, and it wasn't a good feeling, all this energy, right? So she asked me, can you do anything about this? And I'm like, oh, here you got to light some sage. She's like, I've been doing that, but it ain't working. And I said, well, I don't really know, but I can try this. And so what I did was I just imagined being in her house. I'd been there before, and I would imagine standing in there as if I was like remote viewing it, just all in my head, right? And it's really just pretend, right? It's like imagining this, and I'm filling up the whole house with white light, straight from God's source, love energy, love. I'm filling our house with love and healing and white God light, purging everything, purging the blackness. And that's all I was thinking about, thinking about real hard. And then I kind of like encased it in like a time capsule so it wouldn't just dissipate. And, just kind of kept that and willed that on to happen. And then I asked her, how's things going? And like for that, I think it lasted several months. Nothing happened in the house. From that moment on, nothing happened in the house for months. So what is that, and I did it for her again, like a second time, maybe even a third time, but I know I did it twice. So that works. Sending love. They're afraid of love. These bad negative entities, these things that want to harm you, hurt you, suck from you. Try to love them. Just give them some love.
That is the secret.
They will run. Yeah, they'll run. They'll run from you. They're guilty. They're too guilty to accept your love. They don't want to feel that. They need help. Those negative entities, really at the source of their pain is it's a cry for love.
One of
my aunt.
Go. I'll shut up. I can't shut up. Go.
My aunt, one of the most influential people in my life. When I was probably 6 or 7, my sister, she was older and she'd be babysitting, and she would make me watch Freddy Krueger movies and all those, Jason, Freddy, all that stuff. And I hated it. She'd lock me out in the hallway and turn the lights off. Freddy's coming to get you, Zach. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, jeez.
And I'd have horrible nightmares about this stuff. And my aunt came up to me and she was like, you don't have to be scared of them. When you're in your dreams and they come to get you, you can control them. All you have to do is tell them what to do. That's all you have to do. You can make things. And she's like, next time they come to get you, just use your imagination. She's like, you have an imagination. I know you do. She's like, use it, and you can make them do all kinds of stuff. And they'll never bother you again once you show them that you're not afraid of them. And it happened one time. I was in some subway, and I was the only person that could see Freddy. And he's dancing around all these people, like doing peekaboo with me and getting closer and closer. And all of a sudden, I imagined a thing on his head. And now I controlled Freddy, and I was having him do ballerina stuff around the subway and, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And he never bothered me again after that.
What a wise woman.
Yeah, very,
she was actually a self-proclaimed witch. She said she was a wood witch. She told us that till the day she died. Yeah. She's like, I'm a good witch.
Zach, there's several ways that you can empower yourself like that. That's definitely a very creative way and apparently worked. Another way people commonly do is they just call out for like a higher protection from a higher self, or archangel like Michael, stuff like that. They'll call out for some of these older energies and spirits for protection. It's the same thing. It's the same principle. If you believe that will protect you, it's going to protect you. But if you believe that you can whoop some ass, nothing's gonna bother you. Just the same. And so it's how you go into it. You will.
Yeah, and then after that, I could start flying. When I realized I was dreaming when I was young, as soon as I had that inkling, like, oh wait, am I dreaming? I tried flying one time, and it was weird because it wasn't like it came from my feet or my hands. I wasn't flapping my arms. It came from my stomach. To fly, I had to move my stomach, and that made me fly.
Yep, it's true. When I do my flying dreams, it's a concentration you have to do in your Tendian, the energy center of your stomach.
Have you ever read the Carlos Castaneda books?
No.
Anybody? Hori? I don't know.
No.
In the book, there's this part of like maybe the second book where they meet this other, like this guy meets a guy who's a Mexican shaman. Short story of this, quick. Teaches him all the shamanistic things of the Yaqui Indian. So one of the things this other shaman teaches him is how to freaking levitate up this side of this waterfall. And he's using this projection of energy from his solar plexus. And it broke my brain when in Donnie Darko, that's where the little time worm was coming out of everybody. It was out of their solar plexus area.
Ooh. I got to watch that again.
That's also, to me, the place where that love, defense, attack, whatever you need it to be, comes from. It's almost like a green cycle, like a swirl of energy right there in the middle of it all. And when things start getting crazy, that's what I do. That's my little secret weapon, is to concentrate on love, to picture my son running down the dirt road at the bus stop, to picture my mom, to picture all you beautiful people that bring all this love to us on this show every week. And that energy is, like you said, dude, it's kryptonite to them. They don't know what to do with that. And you can then play with that, direct that, make your balls, your Dragon Ball Z balls, and whatever you need to do. So yeah, it's pretty powerful.
You can Kamehameha that sucker with some love if that's what you're gonna do with that white light. I didn't mention this before. You made me remember. Is not just love I filled that house with those ghosts or whatever. I also put freaking white love spikes on and shit like porcupine, just in case.
It's interesting.
Extra touch.
I like green. That's my secret. That's my go-to. I'll put like these little green diamond shaped things that interlock together and can be controlled. It's the whole thing.
You know, interesting you said about your stomach area, because like when I this is one thing I do not understand, and I find it interesting too. When I do energy stuff, a lot of times it just kind of comes from my hands, mostly maybe my chest. That's where I'm easily able to draw energy from, but I don't channel so much of my energy into people when I heal. I usually will do that just to kind of gain awareness of my energy hands themselves, and then I'll start like kind of pulling like from the ether or the white light. I just go to this other source that's beyond me, that I've tapped into time and time again for long stories, but it's that energy I reach in and do my healing with. But when I do reach into my stomach area, I'll get like these goosebump things. Like I can do it like twice a day too, which is like it's like has to recharge. But when I do it, you'll actually see goosebumps all over my arms when I reach into this and flex that energy out into my body. It's very strange. I don't know what it is at all. It
music hits me in that spot.
Yeah,
big time.
I can almost do it at will. It's really, really strange. It's almost
what I'm talking about, and you can only do it. You might do it once if it gets there, but you can't do it again for like an hour, right? It's like this weird. Can't just do it over and over, right?
Pretty well, yeah.
You can. All right. Well, maybe I can too, and I just suck it.
Josh is a girl at this.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I wish I knew what I could do with it. I'll try to apply it like when I'm doing like parlor tricks. I'll try to make somebody's hand buzz or something. I'll reach into that, and many times, as soon as I reach into that and put that energy in, like an energy beam, they'll jerk their hand out. Like it's one of those too much. Whoa, what was that kind of reactions from only the super sensitive people. So it does enhance it. Whatever reaching into that energy center of your body does enhance something. But yeah.
Is it maybe the difference between you having so many avenues that like you can spend those energies on a daily basis, like with what you do here on your show, with what you do with your families that you're talking about, the family members healing, helping them, spending that energy that not necessarily Josh is spending on as many of occasions. So he has more of a well to draw from. Is that making any sense?
Well, Josh,
and I'm not saying you don't spend that energy, Josh. You know what I'm saying? It's just that.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Is a very like energy spending dude, and you don't spend yours quite as freely, and so you have that bigger.
It's a good question, Walt. But I want to ask Josh, do you do any sort of chakra or energy work or anything at all?
Not conscious, like not chakra conscious. Energy work.
You don't twirl them open and absorb energies in and breathe energies into them and close them back. Any stuff like that, you know. I don't either. I don't do any of it either. But I can do all this, stuff that I've talked about. So it's not necessary. But I think to answer more on Walt's question there is maybe if we did do some more of this stuff, I'd be able to do what you do more. Or I'd be able to do what I can do more.
Maybe that is it.
often.
Maybe he's spending it more than we are, and that's why his muscles are
Naturally,
flexing
right?
better. Maybe that's
Maybe.
exactly it. Maybe I'm thinking the wrong way. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not the hoarding of it. It's the letting it shit get out there thing. Because he definitely heals me every time we get on the show together.
Well, I heard that it was like a EMP pulse from your pineal gland. Once that pineal gland hits that harmonic resonance, it sort of sends out this EMP pulse, and you can kind of feel it. That's why music hits you the way it does, or when you're just like really spiritually moved, when something really moves you spiritually, and you get those goosebumps, you just feel that energy surging down your arms and into your fingertips. Once I heard that that's kind of what it was, it turned into an almost exercise where now I'm just trying to sit there and flex it. So this is going to get a little weird. So when I throw up, it feels like I throw up from my toes, right? When it comes out, it feels like it's coming up from my feet, right? And it just all comes out. When I first started noticing that energetic tingling, that feeling, the goosebumps as it sort of shoots out through my body, was sort of the exact opposite. I was pretty young, as I recall, but it was having to pee really bad from so many long car trips. But once I got my bladder fully evacuated and I got the shiver down my spine, and it was just that whole kind of the same thing. I got the goosebumps, and it was just that full release that really made a big difference. But I do believe we have a caller calling in. So let me try to jump over there and see what's what.
I was trying to get to something and I couldn't find a place to help you. Sorry, friend.
That's all right. Welcome to Have No Sphere. Good evening, caller. Who are we speaking with?
Hey, this is Scott Level Realm.
Hey, Scott Level Realm. What's happening?
Hey, what's
So
going
this
on,
works.
Scott?
This actually works. I didn't know if the call-in worked. I didn't hear anybody call in, you know.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Absolutely.
From
Yeah,
time
we
to
just
time.
all carried away. Glad you called, Scott.
So you guys are talking about, Reiki and stuff like that. Like, I learned about that 20 something years ago, and I went to they call it acupressure. Do you guys know about not puncture, but pressure?
Oh,
Have you ever heard
absolutely.
that before?
Reflexology, the whole 9 yards. I love it. Love it.
Do you know what I mean? Like where it's like if you go to a person and they do like energy work, right?
Yeah, isn't acupressure kind of like what Mr. Miyagi was doing in The Karate Kid?
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Essentially,
it's doing it's doing this.
I would say that was more of a Reiki exercise than an acupressure, because when he did the slap of his palms and then he rubs them together, that is, it gets your energy focused on your hands where you're going to be willing your intent. So what he did there was that's to focus his energy, and then he just placed his hands. A lot of times, just kind of place it, and that's lay on hands.
Put all of energy, 1 inch. That whole thing with the punch too. That's part of it.
Yeah. Anyway, you guys were just talking about stuff that like I went through. By the way, Zach, nice to talk to you again. Remember we talked, we did a show together.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What's up, brother? But yeah, it's crazy. Like, you and LC were talking about stuff that I've been talking about forever. And then now you guys are talking about this kind of stuff that I've been talking about forever also. Very interesting. But, like with the Reiki, isn't Reiki, it's a personal thing? Cause that's what I thought it was. The Reiki part was you doing it for yourself, like through breathing and all that stuff, right? Isn't that what Reiki really is? Or do they consider Reiki?
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
No, I was telling Horry. He was about to answer. Go ahead, please, sir.
Yeah. Oh, no, I was asking if the Reiki, I thought the Reiki was like a personal, you do it for yourself. And then the other, I don't know what the other, like I said, acupressure was the other thing that you do to other people. You know what I mean?
Well, no, Reiki is just more of a general term for energy work. You can do Reiki on yourself. You can do Reiki on pets. You can do others. Acupressure and stuff like that may have a more of a physical based science where, pressure points, reflexology, stuff like that will come in. Reiki, I don't do any sort of massage when I'm doing any healing. I don't even touch the person until maybe at the very end.
That's how the lady did the same thing to me.
the very end, I'll probably lay my hands on and push all the rest of that energy in or out or whatever I'm willing on. But I don't do the tissue massage or anything. So it's all the stuff I've done was no massage, and it works, man. It works very good. I've even messed with it to the point where, like, okay, my aunt had a tooth pain. She was, really in pain with this root canal gone bad, right? And I said, hey, Aunt Tammy, can I try to pull it out? And she was like, oh yes, please, baby, because she's, it's worked on lots of, like, my aunt's knee, so she's like, please pull this out, right? So I said, okay, but let me try to do it a little bit different, because now I'm experimenting, right? I'm always experimenting with this stuff. So I said, give me your hand. I pulled the tooth pain out from just putting my hands around her hand, and I focused on where the tooth was without my hand being normally where the tooth and pain is, and pulling it there and throwing. I pulled it from her tooth to her hands and out.
Speaking of that, do you use like the little pendulum thing, like to center on the, like, you know what I'm saying, like the little thing, like a pendulum type thing?
No, I
you
don't
ever
use
seen
any,
people do
any
that?
tools or gadgets. I don't really. I don't.
I did some pendulum work over some years back.
I think there's something to it.
Heavily into the like conventions, going around to the UFO conventions. I met some amazing energy people during that, and got into some pendulums because I was at her table.
Yeah,
one of them started, just one in a big rack of them started swinging, and she's like, that pendulum wants to go with you. I'm like, you're just trying to sell me something. She's like, take it and see. And
that's what it was. That's what the lady
hell,
used to
I gave her
do.
twice what it was worth. Yeah. It's pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah, I don't knock that stuff. I sure don't knock it.
Well, any of this is a focus. It's just kind of like the whole magic wand and the idea of Thor's hammer. It's a way to focus what's in you. It's not in that object. It's you focusing it as a totem, almost like Dumbo's feather to fly and that kind of thing.
And yet they have the amazing ability to calm it, unlike we can even begin to understand. And so there's some type of symbiotic with that too.
Yep.
And just to say, like
sorry, I was trying not to cough.
All right, hurt yourself, brother. No,
well, you got the COVID. Don't get the COVID.
That's it. No.
Oh no.
Well, definitely. with me over the years, the difference between the two is definitely a different thing. And I mean, even to me, acupressure is not even close to massage or deep tissue or anything. Those are all different words. I've shown a lot of people this little trick that I've held on to because of my headaches I get, of pinching the webbing between your index finger and your thumb, and you find a spot, and when you find that spot, the headache will flare up, and you just massage and squeeze, and that shit will go away, and it's a miracle.
Right.
Like the hand with your aunt, your body is reflected in different part. Like there's, the lungs are in this part, your feet are in this part, your tooth is in this part, all reflected in the hand because of the connection of those systems and the energy systems and the chi and all of that. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you're right about the chi.
Go ahead.
Who's going ahead?
You, buddy.
You called, sir.
No. Oh no! I mean, I was just gonna say, like, you're right about the when you pinch between the bottom of your hand and the top, like between your thumb and your finger, right there. You can actually do the same thing. Get rid of headaches for other people.
Yep.
Also,
yep, absolutely.
I've done that before too. You know what I'm saying? But what I was saying in the chat earlier, though, honestly, about this kind of stuff is, like, I went to like I said, 20-something years ago, I was in a bad place, and I had to release energies out of me. I didn't know it, I just went to a lady, and she did all this stuff, and I slowly. It's almost like the rice machine, like you know how Zach, how you're talking about the rice machine. You have to go. You can't just fix your friend's gout, right? On the first try, right? It takes multiple sessions, right?
Yep.
Well, it was the same thing where it took multiple weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of energy work, where I finally, literally, what happened was I felt, I haven't talked about this that much, but because most people don't like this kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Because most people are either turned off by it, or they've never been through it, or they or one of all of the above, right? But it took multiple times, and then eventually, which is weird, I felt heavier, which is very strange. Like where I felt like I was grounded more. You know what I mean? Like where like I used to feel light because I did a bunch of bad stuff, drugs and stuff like that, and then I felt like wow, and I felt heavier, and I also felt, which is weird, I felt like cigarettes tasted better, which is strange. But like things started changing because of the energy that was being extracted out of me, of you know, all those hours and hours and hours of that, whatever you want to call it, Reiki energy work. You know what I mean?
I know that doing some
But
energy, if you're trying to like heal some major stuff out of somebody, or just if somebody's got nausea. I did this one time. Somebody was really, really sick and was like, "Can you pull this nausea out? I've been trying to like stick my finger down my throat and puke. I just want to puke so bad." And I was like, "Well, I'll give it a shot." And I pulled her nausea out. You know, did a couple of little pulls, like 40 seconds. And when I got done, she's like, "Oh my God, I feel so much better." And immediately she ran to my bathroom and threw up. She was like, "You made me throw up. You actually unblocked something." And so it's the same thing. You'll experience a sort of detox. You'll have symptoms from an energetic detox like that.
Yeah. Well, the lady also said one time that a light came out of me and went to the wall. Oh, and like you were talking, like that's what I was gonna say. Also, was about how you guys were talking about like ancestors. She used to say that she had like workers working for her, like spirit workers. You know what I'm saying? That were doing like work for, like with her and for her. But yeah, she said that like a light came out. Like I saw it, but like a ball of energy light that came out and it went onto the wall, and it was. I mean, these kind of things are real. But what I want to say, like I said, was for some people to get too caught up in like astral projection and to get too caught up in the spiritual side of the world, I think it might be a little detrimental. Like I said, for certain people that aren't, you know what I mean, that might get too caught up. That's all I was saying. You know what I mean?
Well, just be careful who you talk about any of that kind of astral or Reiki stuff too. And I love my Christians, but man, they'll hang you for that. They get all upset and talk about this blasphemous stuff.
Even though there's a whole sect of it that's all about laying on hands.
Yeah, the Jesus did it. And never mind. I'll shut up. I'm gonna shut up quick, guys. Don't get me started.
No, because you don't have to.
It's
just Jack.
It's actually funny because like the reason why I went to that lady is because my mom was Christian, and the lady even went behind her back and was like, "I'll do something different to you," and I was like, "That's fine." You know what I mean? It was funny because she was like, "Your mom doesn't believe in that kind of stuff." I'm like, "I know, but guess what? I need to do something." So then I asked her to do whatever she was going to do, and then she did it. And so you're right. I mean, a lot of this Christianity stuff is very, whatever you want to call it, tunnel vision, or one-sided and stuff. But it's also good to have a balance, like everybody knows. Have a balance of everything,
That
Don't
really
take
is
everything
as far
too
as
seriously.
what you were saying about people getting overly lost in spirituality. Just like any area of life, if too much emphasis or energy or focus is put on one thing and then throws everything else off balance, that's definitely not, for me anyway, the way to proceed. But unfortunately, some of us were thrown into the water and had to learn to swim early, and so there was really not a choice made. It was just, here you are, there they are, have fun, So, but definitely anything that helps, if it's definitely physical touching, that's great. If it's just energy work, that's great. And as far as the Christianity aspect, I mean, everybody's at different levels. Everybody's got different frequencies. Some people need that comforting control system, of whatever.
Yep.
Nanny government.
Well, just to say one thing about it, the most Torah observant person I know, just Jack and his family. When I went and hung out with him, I told him, hey, I practice alchemy. He's like, oh, that's so. Jesus practiced alchemy. That's no big deal.
He's great. He's great. He doesn't hate you for not being, exactly who he is, and even though he's, who Jack is.
Yeah,
he
doesn't look down on you. Yeah,
right.
For anything you do. He's very accepting. of, yeah.
Really good guy. And it's how we all should be, tolerating each other's differences.
And another big shout out to just Jack and his lovely wife for the eggs that I'm cleaning in my sink right now as we're watching the show. I have goose eggs and chicken eggs and all kinds of fresh eggs from them. And
man, I've
they're
never had
beautiful. They're beautiful.
What,
Awesome.
The
what's
goose eggs are big.
what
They're nice.
thing? Is it a bigger yolk, smaller yolk?
It's got a bigger yolk, a little bit of a bigger egg. Beautiful. I mean, perfection.
A buddy of mine gives me duck eggs every now and again, which we use for like baking because it makes everything so airy and fluffy. Because it's got a lot more white to it. Yeah,
Got that nice
I've never
texture.
had
Yeah.
goose though. I want to try that. That's interesting.
Yeah, the goose ones have got the big yolks, and so yeah, pretty. And I just finished cleaning a batch of them, and it's so nice because I know these chickens are loved, and I know that they're growing up and wild, and yes, I know they're happy chickens. It's
That's
nice.
Awesome. That's awesome. Definitely, Jack. We need to get Jack on here, man. It's been like forever since he was hanging out and talking with us on your end there, Zach.
Yeah, it's been
Oh, man.
quite a while.
Remember the time I had him in the ISS with me when he set up his green screen for a week? He was floating around with me. Oh my gosh, that was a great episode. So fun. It really looked good too. It looked like he was, at least in the same green screen studio with me, but he was just on Skype somewhere else in the world. Stuck him in there. It was great.
Yeah.
Hey, really quick before I'm gonna go after this, but what happened to you guys the last Iron Realm Media? For some reason, I guess I missed the memo, but you guys weren't on. Did it get a strike or something on your channel?
Our
On
radio
the
channel?
podcast?
Yeah, man, we were at bad flirts. And it's my fault. Truly, I showed a video. I shouldn't. I knew better, but we had done so many things that were skirting around the edges of stuff and gotten away with it. I guess I got too comfortable with my mad powers. But what's frustrating is that it wasn't necessary. The channel did this. Google didn't. YouTube didn't. That other channel did. And all I was doing was showing their amazing work, bragging on how great it was, driving people to their channel, promoting their crowd. And they're like, no, fuck you. You can't. Oh, sorry. You can't stream till May. And it's kind of like, really awesome. So yeah, I stopped. Needless to say, I don't subscribe to their channel anymore. Anyway, but yeah, that's why we're not on the main channel. And
Was it a Flat Earth channel? Well,
no, it was totally not. It was a short animated video channel who puts up a bunch of cool little short animated stuff that I like. Computer animated stuff, and one of them was this little god character sitting at his computer, brings up the globe on the computer and drops a little atom from the menu on it, and he falls off the globe, and he's like, he turns it into the X and Y and changes it into a flat plane, and then he drops the atom on there, and he's cool. Then he starts plopping little stuff. I'll send you the link. It's a great.
They didn't like that. They didn't like it coming from your channel. I bet.
I guess
saw your
got
other
offended
content.
that the flatters found it. Yeah. And then when I went through the comments, I saw that a bunch in the comments of the video. Yeah, flat earthers are going to get all over this video.
Oh, wow.
Really ridiculous. So yeah.
What you think about the Clorox band Flat Earth video I put up? You see that one I put up?
I didn't see it.
No,
man.
Oh man, Clorox Bleach put out this cool funky band song commercial, and they're walking around like paper thin humans, but then the Earth all of a sudden turns into a flat surface, flips over. Oh man.
Oh, I gotta see it. I'll check it out. Yeah, no, we don't need Clorox on us. Like I said, we'll be 10 channels.
Well, I got it on my channel, and it's still up. But yeah, I know. I feel you.
But definitely, man, anyone that's here with us, definitely share, let everybody know. I made a little video and stuck it up on my channel. I'll give it to you guys if you want to share on your channels to let everybody know where we are over here. This was originally where we were using, I think this is where we had tried to do our 24/7 with a couple of the servers that Adam burnt to the ground. So shout out, Adam. We miss you, brother. For sure. And that maybe, or this could have been where the original Have No Sphere channel was. I don't know. But yeah, it became our backup because we didn't ever need a backup. And now here we are. So, but it has grown some, and I appreciate you guys helping us do that for sure. But it is sad not to see some of the regular people that used to be here. In fact, I was just thinking earlier when you were talking about the music and Baldini, and I was like, damn, he hasn't been here in a minute because he probably don't know where the hell we even are. So
it took me a while. I'm like, well, what happened? I'm not getting no notifications. I don't really go to the TFR site, and it took me some hunting. So I know a lot of people just haven't done that hunting down for the new channel here yet.
And I even did a test on a friend's computer who doesn't watch or do any of this to see how buried this one was in comparison to the regular Iron Rim media. Because it used to be you literally had to get to the ME of media before it would pop up on the screen for our channel. Now you have to get over into the PODCA, and there's the Iron Rim Media Podcast. Then if you don't know the channels here, you're not going to find it. It's very frustrating. Very frustrating. So, like I said, I'll throw that video here around. So if you want to pop it on there, just Bob gave us a shout out. Appreciate that, sir. And Bob, I feel like you are being quiet, and I appreciate that. But you definitely are. You need to pop in here and interject on some of this, sir.
Absolutely. I'm just loving the conversation.
Who's had some of these experiences? You feel like a very energetic dude. I haven't met you in person, but it definitely comes across.
Yeah, well, I enjoy the subject, and I've studied it for quite some time, and I'm very interested in a lot of the so-called occult works, because there's a reason why they hide these things, and it isn't because they don't work, and it isn't because they're quackery. There's something to them.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, if you can walk through walls and see what's there, obviously that's why the military has spent so much money on even cold remote viewing, during the Cold Wars, and they probably still do. Definitely, there's benefits to this kind of.
Those programs were canceled, just like the NA Ultra things were canceled. Come on, Ori, keep up with the.
Yeah, no, I used to love reading Dean Radin's work, at Princeton, and the remote viewing stuff. And how they would do experiments all the way across the country and put all these energetic sensors in a small room or a small compartment where they had the trained remote viewers, focusing on. And I mean, everything would change in there, light variance, electrostatic, humidity, temperature, all these things would change all over the place. And all this is at the whim of the remote viewer. Absolutely amazing stuff.
Yeah, when you go from remote viewing things to actually remote manipulation, then it's a whole different world. That's when the military definitely raises their head and goes, "Wait, what? We need this."
What's distant Reiki healing? I mean, there's something. Okay, so say this. I mean, I've pulled out headaches from. I think you guys know No One's Flower. Nora.
Mm-hmm.
I helped her twice with migraines from afar, and actually once at the Flat Earth conference in the middle of the VIP dinner, she was like, "Can you please pull this one out?" And I'm like, "Oh man, right in the middle of everybody, I'm gonna look like such a weirdo." But I did it. But well, yeah, I'm sure they're very aware that we can alter things from a distance, one way or another, with our thoughts. And I know the stuff that I've done with Reiki and healing and astral projection and my own ways remote viewing is definitely something that they're harnessing for their own and most likely nefarious purposes more than good. And that we need to just be informing ourselves of and maybe dabbling with it. Like you said, you're into the occult a little bit, Bob. Like, yeah, I am too, because I know there's real power there. There's knowledge. With knowledge comes power, and they hide this knowledge. They have this hidden power. Mm-hmm.
Well, as with Flat Earth, anything they're directing our attention away from, ridiculing openly, doing everything they can to keep it out of the
that means there's something to it. Period.
Damn straight. Damn straight.
I've been seeing a lot of videos talking bad about permaculture now.
Oh, see? Yeah, anything worthy of spreading like something like as big as permaculture is an awesome thing to spread. Oh, yes, hide it. Hide that. Yeah.
That's the only videos I can really find. You might find one promoting it, and then you find like 10 or 15 saying, "This is crap, permaculture sucks, blah, 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 blah." Yep, I saw this coming.
But we're already starting to do that with, laws saying we can't collect rainwater or grow plants in our own front and backyards in certain places. Like
cow milk.
Yeah. Trade stuff like that, right? Yeah. Another thing,
I'm
before I
sure we're not
forget.
supposed to have duck eggs or goose eggs. I'm sure in the bigger scheme of their
Oh yeah, right.
keeping us from healthier stuff.
Oh man. Before I forget, just the immense untapped potential that I'm still tapping into with this Reiki and energy stuff. Like I said, I stopped maybe. I don't even give myself full credit for this stuff because it's really unbelievable. I may have stopped a nosebleed, a physical bleeding problem with it, but whatever. One thing that, God, I hope I don't forget. Oh, the most amazing thing I don't even know if I can call it the most amazing thing, but definitely something bizarre. In college, I was with a couple of friends, and this was back in my trying crazy stuff days. I was tripping on cough syrup, actually Robitussin at the time. I don't know if anybody's familiar with any of that, but it definitely did something to my ability to feel energy. It made Reiki and energy stuff almost tangible, as if instead of a pressure, normally I'd feel a little pressure between my hands. No, I felt like a clay block between my hands, with this kind of whatever high it would give me. But I would have this lot of confidence too. And I actually told my other two friends that were doing the same thing with me. I was like, hey guys, what if I try something like with you tonight? Can I pull you out of your bodies? Would you let me try that? And they were like, you could do that? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I feel like I can do pretty much anything with energy when I'm like this. And they're like, yeah, I'll try it. Yeah. What do we do? What do we do? So I stuck them in beanbag chairs, one in this one and one in that one. And I had a sober friend, a real Christian guy, kind of laughing his ass off at us doing this. He thought we were crazy, but he was my witness. I did energy where I'd move their energy from their hands and their arms to their chest, and then from their head and neck to their chest, and then from their toes and feet, ankles, thighs to their chest, everything to their chest, like a condensed ball. And the whole time I'm doing this to each one of them, I'm guiding them through a simple meditation, visual meditation. Like, okay, you're on this beanbag chair, but imagine you're on a raft. You're floating and slowly bobbing in the water, and the smell of the forest and the jungle above your head, or it was a jungle, and there's butterflies. You could see the tropical flower. I'm painting a picture, right? I'm giving them sense to smell, things to hear as I'm doing this energy to them. And I've never done this before. It was all intuitive. So anyway, by the end of the energy, I have them all in their chest, 2 balls in their chest. So I pick one of the energy balls from my friend A from his chest, and I throw it to the corner of the ceiling. And then I go to my other friend and I scoop him up by his chest and I throw it into the other corner, and I wait. I looked at my friend that was watching me, just kind of shaking his head. And I'm like, I'm going to give him a couple of seconds, and then I'm going to wake them up and see if they felt anything interesting, because they were both out. They were out. And so then I tap the friend A. I'm like, yo, wake up. He freaks out. Like, he wakes up from a dream, and he's like, he couldn't even speak first. He's like, immediately he points up to exactly where I put him. That's the first thing he could do, is point to where he saw us from. And then he gets it out. Oh, the last thing I felt was like buzzing in my chest, and then I could see. And I was up there when I could see. I was right there. I woke up my next friend. I had to slap the crap out of him. I thought he was going to die because he took like the wrong Robitussin. I'm like, oh shit, we put Tony to sleep. He's going to die. But we slapped him awake, and literally the exact same story. The panic, the freak out, pointing first, and then the story in the chat. It's the same exact story in the opposite section of the ceiling. So it was perfect confirmation. We can do this. Like, hello, we can do this. And that's what I'm stuck with. Like, what else can we do, guys? What else can we fricking do? What is it going to take? Some special herbs, some special diet, some special chemicals to enhance this? Like,
I think it's just nature, man. Just get back to nature.
I don't know.
Get back.
And then you think Wim Hof,
the earth.
Think of Wim Hof and what he can do.
Right. Shout out. Amazing breathing and the cold and getting back in touch with the earth. Nature does it. Nature just does it.
The potential, it's still mind-boggling to me, the stuff I've done. You can even not only pull out pains, but you can insert pains. I can bang my hand on a desk and take it out of myself and put it in you, and you'll feel a prickling pain. I actually had 2 experiences where I was at a party and people were doing 2CE, which is kind of like an LSD but variant, and trying a psychedelic trip with about 6 of us. And one guy was panicking. He was freaking out. It's too much for him. He said he's you could see him. He's shaking. He's white as a ghost. He's sweating. Everybody else is fine. We were enjoying ourselves. He was like, I might have to call ambulance. I'm so sorry. And I said, oh, no, 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 no. I just owned it. I just went up and said, bro, come here. Just come here. I said, let me pull it out, bro. I yanked it out. I threw it into the air. 2 seconds. I said, how you feel now? He's like, the hell did you do? I feel fine. All right, let's go on. Everybody drink your water and let's move on. And they all looked at me like, wait, no, what the hell did you just do? I'm like, I didn't even get into it. I'm like, I'm not having this in the bubble, you know. And then a cousin of mine, same thing. Bastard took some of the stuff he bought from me, decided to take some of mine, so I wasn't feeling it enough. But he then had a freak out moment. Too strong, bro. I said, well, come here, you bastard. I'm gonna pull it out. And I'm like, wait, instead of throw it away, I was like, you put it in my chest chakra. And I actually elevated, and it was mescaline, actually. Started seeing the rainbows immediately, like so much harder. So that was, confirmation proof for me. We can do so much more than just pulling out pains or remote viewing. I mean, we can pull people out of body. We can transfer pain. I mean, just the potential here. What do you think they're doing with it, huh?
Now, I know, well, I'm assuming, I guess, a lot here, but I know from conversations we've had, anyway, that for the majority of the panel here, the experiences we've all had with altering our consciousness, be it this afternoon, during this show, 20 years ago, in whatever form it may have been, we've all experienced enough to know that, that doesn't, I'm trying to see how to say this. Okay, so that's that group of people. That being said, unfortunately, I know there is a contingency of folks who may or may not be listening, watching, tuning in later, who will hear you describing these experiences and put that over in a little convenient box for them that says, oh, he was on drugs.
Right. Oh, yeah.
No,
I'm not vibing with that. Right.
And again, I've had experiences that were verified through outside sources that were definitely not in the same frame of mind I was in, that had experiences that definitely verified summoning and whatever. We don't need to get off into another show.
I will say this. The only times I was ever altered on any sort of anything were those last 2 stories. All my astral projection experiences.
That's what I mean.
Were all completely sober.
Exactly.
I can't do that
when I was 10, seeing dragons in my fan. Right.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't even share that astral journey with you if I'm tripping balls or whatever, and like I go out of my room and fly through. I wouldn't even share that. It's like, who knows what that was, but. No, all the going out of body, going through a wall, telling somebody what they really did. That was before my even weed smoking days. That was 16.
Right.
So, in fact, weed really kills my dreams. So it's when I stopped smoking for like 6 days, my dreams are like every day. That is something that dreams. Unfortunately is a true fact. While cannabis consumption helps with keeping their mind control energies at bay, it definitely fucks with your internal dream systems, and that is Kathy
something
O'Brien.
that's a hard line to walk sometimes.
You got that from Kathy O'Brien, didn't you?
Oh yeah, but I knew it already. I knew that as I grew up. I knew that me being in the state of mind, grew up, whatever. Once I started really got into a life where I could choose to be either enhanced or not by cannabis, I knew what it was doing for me in letting me see things that the person right next to me just was not seeing, and it's right there in their face. And that was way before I read her book. But yeah, Bryce, is that who it is? Bryce? Kathy Bryce? What's her name?
Kathy O'Brien.
O'Brien, yeah.
But she said that MK Ultra, that in the MK Ultra program, that was the only thing they wouldn't let her do as far as drugs goes.
Hell, they encouraged every other horrible thing for her to use. Stay away from the cannabis. Absolutely.
Stay away from cannabis. It messed up their ability to do their MK Ultra mind control.
Well, and Jerry Merzinski, we had him on. I don't know if you know who that is, Jorge. He was a psychiatrist for 29 years, and he studied schizophrenics that heard the voices. And he found out that all the voices told them to not smoke marijuana. You can do cocaine, you can do meth, you can do heroin, do all that stuff all day long. Do not smoke marijuana, and you do not read the Bible. That's what the voices Yeah, from multiple sources. This was like, many different people that never spoke to each other. He said the voices all say the same things.
That's
Crazy, isn't it?
fascinating. That's really, really fascinating.
Are these voices really like government entities doing the voice of God? The stuff that they were using in the 90s in the military
Yeah,
during Desert Storm.
they were flying that technology on jets, right? And passing over soldiers, telling them drop your weapons. This is Allah. Stuff like that, right?
How
Yeah.
long have they been doing that? I don't know.
And does it only work multi-contextually? Because there has never ever been in history one case of anybody born blind that's schizophrenic. Ever. So you have
I did not know that.
So you wonder, like, does it come in from different directions and that too on it? But yeah, it's a curiosity.
Very interesting, Kenny. Yeah.
Well, there's that whole real eye thing that, I don't know, that might be a subject we need to open up on this right now. But definitely just the idea that there are societies who part of their initiation is a thing being implanted into your eye.
We'll call it
Go
a
look into
vrilling.
the real VR eye.
Yeah. Well, you know what else could be? It could be we're able to put like a cell from our body, like take 2 cells from our body, put one of them on petri dish, monitor it, hook it up, whatever. Take the other cell, put it in another petri dish way across town, another state, whatever. Hook it up, monitor it. Now you can see these two at the same time. Now alter one cell, and the other one actually gets altered in the same way. How does that happen? This is science. This is stuff that they're searching. So think about that, and then think about how these schizophrenics, hearing the voices, like if they can, I don't know, get our DNA sample. The Rona test is probably supplying a lot of DNA library. You know what I'm saying?
Well, also when you think about the blood, like, hello, Cammy.
Blood, right?
Keeping track of who is O and RH and the bloodlines they've been keeping up with. Well, hell, since the Bible, this begat, he begat, she begat. That's all about genealogy and bloodlines, keeping track of that. It has to be pretty freaking important in the bigger scheme of things. So for them to take it from, that level to them taking it to this dark program of collecting it through this freaking mythology they've created of little gray men, I don't doubt that at all. Now, whether there are other entities out there involved in all that, I can verify 100%. But that's, again, a whole different thing.
It's bizarre. I just have like one more story to share if I can about
Please do.
The potentials with this Reiki stuff, because I keep thinking about all the things that I've done, and there's one guy I lived with. I was taking care of an elderly man who was actually like gay bashed back in the 60s, thrown off a bridge. He wasn't all there, hardly work a microwave, so I was kind of helping this man assisted living for a while. And one night he'd love to go to his bar. He goes to the bar, he grabs too many drinks, he comes home, long story short, takes a spill in the parking lot. I get knocks on the door. The neighbors are like, so-and-so's on the parking lot, he's bleeding from his head, he's not responding. I'm like, oh crap. I help him get to the hospital. Then he basically, I stay there 7 days with him. He's steadily declining, he's not responsive. Day after day, he's getting worse and worse. 7th day, whatever, 10th day, whatever it is. Doctors are saying, look, he's got double pneumonia in each lung. He's in there. He's been unresponsive for 3 days now. He's got what they call death breath. That curdling breathing. It stinks. It's rotten.
I do know it, unfortunately.
They're telling his whole family, all of us, to come in and say our goodbyes to him while he's just on the breathing or machine or whatever he was on. And so everybody did. Everybody said their goodbyes, and then I went in there and I sat with him and I held his hand. It was just me, and just me and him. And I sat there and I was like, you know what? If now's the time for me to try any of this healing stuff for realsies, I'm going to go as hard as I can possibly ever try to do it right now. And I reached for that. Like I grabbed his hand and I reached to source, God, love, everything that man did for me, the good person he was. Like you said, you were thinking about your son walking and how happy he was. I mean, you try to fill the your thoughts with happy thing. I just thought about him and the love I had for him, and vice versa. And it just amplified, blah, blah, blah. It's just big white light I'm filling the room with. And then I said, look, I don't know what I'm here for. If I'm a channel to help him go, because he could be suffering, hey, let me help him pass. If not, then let's heal this man. Let's get this going. And I shoved that intent in. It's A or B, and then it's for the greater good, whatever one's going to stick. Boom. I got out, I went to sleep in the lobby again. It was like the 7th day I slept in the lobby. Got up. Everybody got up the next morning. The doctors are flipping over their notes. They're looking at this notepad, 3 doctors, 3 notepads, flipping pages. And they're like, we're moving George to a regular room out of ICU. His double pneumonia is completely gone. He's made a full recovery. He's talking to the nurses right now. He's eating breakfast for once. They were shocked. They had no idea. Double pneumonia overnight. And this guy he had cancer too. So, he was like very immune system compromised. He should have. They told us to come say goodbye. What happened? What was that? Was that me? Was that what? What? I don't know. It's just another one of those things under my belt. Could it be Reiki? Could this be a potential we can do? And I don't want to sound like I'm tooting my own horn. I want everyone to feel empowered by our potential as human beings, magical creatures. It's not just me telling stories. Look how cool stuff I did. No, it's for me to hopefully inspire people, and research, try stuff, experiment.
That's beautiful, man. Thank you for sharing that. I know it's definitely one of those things that I worked with Mom, and knowing when I got there that was my choice. That was my intent. It was either to help heal her or help her be ready to go peacefully. And as time progressed there, it up until the last day, it was still heal, heal, heal. It was really all about her and her time and her decision and her tired of hurting and, just ready to go. So, but definitely that is something that unfortunately has also been hidden from us in this society, in this world of, keeping everything behind curtains and behind the door and turn it into this weird, sad funeral thing rather than a glorious celebration of life as they leave, like it was. So yeah, that's great. That's great.
If anything, Big Harma. Big Harma.
You got it, friend.
That's
you
more
said
appropriate.
It.
Big Harma.
Perfect.
Big Harma. I'm gonna just go with that, baby. I'm stealing it from myself.
That's right on the money. Big Harma.
Big Harma wants to keep it from you. If Big Harma was doing it right, they would be holistic healing stations everywhere. Herbs would be back in our shelves, not Tylenol, not NyQuil, not Robitussin. We'd have honey, real honey, not the fake stuff that all this stuff. This world is designed to trick us into thinking that the authority figures can heal us and help us when they've hidden all the real healing, help, guided information, and it drives me nuts. It really does. I had a point there and I totally derailed. Sorry about that. Somebody else. I had something I wanted to say, I promise.
No, it was good. The Big Harma. That's a new
Big
shirt.
Harma, yeah, if anything came out of that, Big Harma.
That was worth it. That's the next shirt for sure. I love it.
Big Harma, yeah, Scott. Reading the chat.
Oh damn! It's definitely one of those things that's it's a big part of the potential, as you said, with this, and why I definitely encourage anyone that's interested in this, dig in, dig deep, be ready for what you're going to encounter. Because the rewards that, when it comes down to it, when you're faced with something like this with a friend or a loved one, or you're, knowing that you can help, knowing it's empowering, and it definitely helps you through those experiences as well. So flex those muscles, do the work, do the exercises. The breathing is key. And I have some sources I'll share with you guys a bit later in the show, or in the chat or whatever, for some stuff, just kind of a place to mark on a bookmark that you can go to, just some of the exercises and ways to deal with some of this. And I'm sure Jorge will let you guys know how to reach out to him anytime.
Yeah,
you have some question. He's well versed.
I have a video. Actually, I did an hour and something long stream on the very basics of Reiki healing. It talks about how to do a simple hand exercise and how to feel your energy, how to move your energy, and then how to just simply put intent and will whatever you want into another person. And it just goes through how to feel your energy, how to move it, how to do a healing in just an hour and 20 minutes. And then it points, or I should have a link on there to Robert Bruce's documents on it, which again just kind of goes into how to feel your energy body and manipulate energy. But before I forget, I want, because I'm experimenting with this stuff in so many ways and I've done all these things, what about people in comas? What's going on with them? Where's their consciousness there, right? I'm thinking back on what I did in college by pushing the energy out and moving the energy to the guy's chest and picking them out. Well, what are these people in comas? Where's their energy? I secretly want to like go try to rescue somebody in a coma. Like, I'm at that point where like I kind of want to do this somehow, like it's in my craw, because I think I can. Imagine if I could do that. No, just imagine if that's possible. Oh my God, but they'd kill me. I'd be floating in a river somewhere if I did that.
So let me ask you, have you lost your thread before and had trouble getting back to yourself?
I don't believe in the silver cord thing because I haven't seen it. I just
Well, I
believe that
found
there's
it without knowing it was even a thing in the lore. That was something that was early on, the way I found my way back. And it wasn't necessarily a silver thing. It was just like my way back. And when I couldn't get through certain things that were literally blocking my way back, it was a struggle to breathe. My body was not, I wasn't in my body. There's no doubt that I wasn't driving this machine anymore, that I needed to get back there, and I need to get back there now.
You're talking about in an out of body experience, seeing and trying to get back in your body?
Mm-hmm, absolutely. So I wonder if those people have had some kind of, well, I mean, think about a wreck, and people talk about, I was in a wreck and seeing the things above as they cut me out of the wreck, been there, done that.
Mm-hmm.
So that idea, so the trauma they've gone through has knocked them out of their self, and they don't know how to get back. They have no clue. It's no point of reference in their whole experience. They've been inundated with sheepdom from this world, so they don't have a clue how to get back. Maybe that's what a coma is. Not, just a theory.
Yeah. No, yeah. I'm thinking along those lines too. They're lost somewhere, they're not in their body. They're lost. They can't get back. That's ultimately what I've always thought a coma was. But to have done like, pulling people out of their body, tossing them away, or pulling an overdose from someone and throwing it away and helping them, or panic attack.
And while that consciousness you threw over there, the body is still working fine. I watched that.
Yeah.
My father-in-law passed. He was gone the day before when he went to my sister-in-law, and she smelled his cologne the night before. He was there in the room leaving. When we got there that day, the next 8 hours of him just sitting there breathing was a machine just winding down. He wasn't there. His energy was gone. There's no doubt. So the idea that they could be in a coma, the body could still be going, especially if it's being supported by medicine, then they could just be trying to find their way back. Crazy. You've opened my mind up to this. That's awesome.
Well, you know what? I had an experience with this very week. Somebody that I don't really know, but I know tried to off himself, and I'll just say a friend of mine sent me a picture of her cat freaking out at nothing in the room. Like, just 2 days later, he's on tubes. He shot himself and didn't do it right, and the cat's freaking out. She's got this video. This cat's like, its mouth is open and it's like, and it's looking at the closet, like the wall, like there's nothing there. There's no bugs. There's nothing there. And I'm telling him, like, that's him. He's not in his body right now. And animals can see energies like that. So I guarantee you that's him. And the very next day, he passed. I said, he's just visiting you while he can. And so I do believe that, maybe the body is in too much pain sometimes, and the energy soul, whatever, doesn't want to re-inhabit it. It's gonna hurt. Like if you got in a bad car wreck, smacked into a wall going 80, you got all this damage. It hurts. That's the reason you shot out in the first place, to go back into it. That's could be a block that
Wow,
you're
no
not.
doubt. See, that's another area of
know,
just not wanting to get back in there and deal with what's not is going to be in there in that body.
Yep,
Wow.
yep. You're conscious. You have decisions. You know, you can come in with those feeding tubes and everything, and live a life after attempted suicide, or say nope, fold, and just go out, peace out. And that's what he did. A sad thing, but yeah, it goes along the lines of what we were just talking about quite well. And animals do sense that, man. They see ghosts. Oh yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt, especially cats, man. They seem super sensitive to it. More so, well, I don't know, dogs too.
Cats have a certain energy with them that can help kind of calm you down, it seems. You ever heard that? You pet a cat,
for sure.
And it changes your, I don't know, mood.
The purring literally is a frequency shifter. For me, anyway, it is. And
dogs too.
Something with a cat, and it was going to people's beds. Oh, doctor sleep. Yeah, that's what it was. Where the cat knew when somebody was going to pass and would go sit on the bed with them. Sorry, the law's trying to play catch up and drop a link in chat for someone here.
I'll say, another thing about this energy stuff that I find really, again, fascinating. We were talking earlier about schizophrenics and stuff and where they're hearing this voice or whatever. I'll just say someone that I used to know, I'm not going to mention any names, had a family member that would be like that, talking to like spirits and in and out of the schizo center. And anyway, this particular individual, it was my friend, had an experience. It was very traumatizing, and we were separated. And like, I must have mentioned that I've taken some form of psychedelics like a few times in this, but it's really quite rare for me to get a hold of this stuff. But anyways, one of these nights where I had some LSD, and I was like, I'm going to do this. And I get this call at 2 a.m. from my friend, said, rescue me. I just, something terrible happened, and I need help. I'm like, okay, well, come here. I said, I'm still doing this. No, you can't have any. But get a shower, have some food, change some clothes. Everything was good. I was like, I'll do some Reiki on you. I think that'll help you out, pull some stress out. Okay, yeah, great. Do some Reiki on her. She freaks out, starts talking and walking like a completely different person. I still to this day don't know what exactly happened, but the way she sounded, the way she looked, the way she walked, and what she said, what she said was, okay, if you've ever done any sort of psychedelics, you'll sometimes get to this heightened state of consciousness, Kundalini awakening, sometimes even if it's really bizarre, and you feel like you've tapped into some extra knowledge. And I noticed the same exact kind of shift in this person that I just did this energetic LSD Reiki on, right? So it was really crazy, and I ended up getting to a point where it became this is a weird story, I know. She became very violent. This energy in her became very violent. It then began to not be a good energy in the room, and it then began to attack me physically. But at some point I said, listen, let's get rid of this. And my friend was still in there, but this other thing was there too. So when I would be like, hey, let me help you, I would hear her voice come back and be like, okay. And then this other thing would be like, you're just trying to blah, 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 blah. It was like a freaking demon. It was like a possession.
You definitely need to watch the show we did with Jerry Marzinski.
So long story short, I ended up by saying, I said, let's pull this thing out of you. Will you let me pull this out of you, friend? And she's like, yes, please. Yes. And I hugged her, and I took this energy, and I was like, get the F out, and I pulled this out, and now I had it in a ball. And guess what the ball reminded me of? That very first thing I saw in my first out-of-body experience. It was this ball of stuff pulling other stuff into it, except this wasn't a silver color. This was red and black. And I don't see energies, but I could feel it was a red, black, dark ball. Well, I took this massive crap and threw it out the bathroom window. Friend was all like instantly better. No more panicking, no more shaking, no more crying. It was good. All of a sudden, I start feeling a sense of panic, a sense of dread, a sense of anger. Oh, it was disgusting coming back into the bathroom from the window. And I knew what it was already, but I didn't want to say anything because everything was cool, right? Well, then she starts saying, it's and she was stuttering. It's coming back. It's coming back. It's coming. This shit went back into her. At that point, it was just full on pissed off. Like that's when it began to hit me, and it was crazy. So like we could pull demonic energies out of people too. You know, it's just kind of where I was going with that. Like, ooh, can we put them in?
Yeah, you definitely
Hello,
need to
government.
see the show with Jerry.
I know, right? That's all I keep taking is check it out and talk to Jerry for sure. I mean, that's what it was all
Yeah,
about.
he says these things are attacking all of us at all times. You
They're
know, like
always
those
around.
crazy thoughts that you'll have driving down the highway, and you'll be like, "I'm gonna go run off the road." It's like, no, I'm not. Why the hell did I think that? Where did that thought come from? That's them. They're fishing.
You could see that side of you when you look in the mirror when you're tripping, if you want to. It's you got to be really strong though to see your best side and then to see your worst side. You literally will see a white and a dark, like a split, like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde sort of image of yourself. It's creepy, very creepy.
Yeah, I've never tried that.
I don't recommend it.
I didn't like looking at myself.
I've always
recommend it.
Gone into those experiences, I guess, with positive thoughts and good experience intent. I've only had 2 bad experiences, and they were always related to other people and what they were doing or going through. So, you know, it's all about set and setting, mindset and setting who you're with, where you are, what you've got going on. You know, there's definite instances that are better than others as far as those settings, but just experiencing the similarities with other people, confirming that you are definitely all having the same experience, you know, external experiences. I think I hear a little ringy dingy ding.
Indeed you do. Good evening, caller. Thanks for calling Have No Sphere. Who are we speaking with?
Josh, what's up, man? It's Scott Level Realm again.
Hey, what's up, Scott?
What's up, Scott?
Well, I didn't realize it says West Virginia. That's the number.
That's the number. I'm in Missouri. Really, because I wanted a FlatLine. I wanted my last 4 numbers to spell flat. And when I was getting my Google Voice number, you could search numbers. So I searched by those last 4 numbers, 3528, and West Virginia's 304, 503. Seemed to kind of flow together reasonably well. So I just sort of picked an arbitrary phone number that was assigned to me through Google.
Well, you know what's awesome is like West Virginia is, Missouri is just as awesome as West Virginia, in my opinion. Like my friend just moved to are you in Missouri? Yeah, dude. Oh, did you move? Dude, I've heard Missouri is like the best place to live. My friend just bought property there. He's building you know, like giant containers, you know, like container house. Mm-hmm. You've heard of that, right?
Oh yeah, shipping containers.
Yeah, he's built. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's building a house out of those things. But either way, dude, Missouri, West Virginia, good places to go. Now I forgot what I was calling about. You guys were talking about what you guys are talking about?
Demonic entities, exorcism.
Entities, yes, sir.
No, oh man, it screwed me up, the whole West Virginia thing. Oh man, you guys are just talking about something. That's why I called.
It wasn't the demon thing?
Reference to Jerry Marzinski.
Oh yeah, demon. Yeah, who was that? Is that Zach? Okay. Was that Zach? Yeah,
the demon. No, it was me. It was Hori talking about the demon.
Yeah,
have you ever pulled out?
Have you ever seen like? Oh well, I said Yahusha pulled demons out of people, you know. But like, have you guys ever seen like demon? Like, you can kind of see the demons, and like, I'm not saying people are demons. I'm saying there's demons inside of the people, like where you can see like when you talk truth to them, or if you say something and then all of a sudden like the demon comes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's side by side.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. You can see the facial
Yeah,
features,
it's
everything
not them.
twists and contorts, and they look like a completely different person.
Their eyes are
Yeah,
darker.
exactly.
They go black.
That's what I'm saying. Like where you know it's not the person reacting to what you're saying to them. It's the whatever you want to call it, demon. I don't care what you want to call it, but it's like it's something coming at you that is not the person that's coming at you. You know what I mean? It's true, dude. I've seen it so many times. You can see it in their eyes too. Like it says their eyes change.
That's it. That's the key giveaway for me. It's the eyes. And you can also see it in their face.
Yeah.
Their countenance, mannerisms, everything does actually change. They look like a wolf.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, instead of being
Yeah.
microaggressions, it turns into full-on aggressions.
Yeah,
You know,
like
those little microaggressions you can't hide, but I mean, yeah, they look like a wolf for like ever. It's not like just a split second. It's like 3-4 seconds. It looks like they want to bite you and they're growling at you.
Yeah, and it's not them. Like to me, it's not the person. It's like whatever is controlling their reaction. You know what I mean? I don't blame the actual person. Like I don't want to blame people for the reactions, but it's just what they've let into their soul. Not soul, but into their being or whatever. I don't know how to explain it, but you can just see it. Though. It's weird.
It's what they've let in either through just ignorance of drifting through life, open to anything, frequency they've shifted through alcohol, through abuse, a lot of it's past trauma or has done to them, whatever has kinked their frequency enough to allow these things to harmonically resonate.
They drop their armor
enough to then become part of your makeup. Then that is, I mean, I was joking about you off the line energy, but there's definite a feralness to it all that screams something.
Good word. Feral. Beast. Feral. Yeah. Good words.
I just don't,
Feral?
Wolf, so I can't say it's a wolf.
Feral is opposite of native. Native is where you belong, and feral is outside, right? Is that what you meant?
Just raw.
Just this vicious,
Vicious. There you go.
Yeah,
right.
feral is like untamed.
Untamed. There you go. We're all on the same page. Running wild. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the outside sources, like the feral sources, and the native source should be what your
and there's a
true
lot
being
of,
is.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
History talking about their jealousy of our 3D experience, their jealousy of us being able to manifest into this 3D realm, have these choices, this linear time.
Free will. Yeah, free will.
Right. They don't get none of that. They don't have access to that. So as soon as they can frequency or whatever the word is, get into us and have some of those experiences, even if it's briefly, that's great. But then some people, they can definitely ride for some time.
And I think you're talking about take over in the case of schizophrenic people. They completely let this energy take over, or it's so powerful it takes over them for a time. These people often will black out. I mean, with my friend I was talking about, that wasn't her. I don't know how much of it she remembered, but another completely different friend of mine, just different, real short story. I'm walking to the woodshed out by her house. We walk into or from the woodshed or something, and all of a sudden she just turns to me, and I swear to God, it was like something from the Exorcist movie. And she just starts talking in tongues and sounding like a freaking demon. And first time this has ever happened to me, but you know what? The weirdest shit, man. I instantly knew.
It's true.
I knew immediately what to do. It was an intuitive thing. I grabbed her, open palmed her chest, and then open palmed her back, and I was able to move her as if she weighed nothing. It was very strange. She was trying to fight me. She was trying to peel my arms off. She couldn't. It was like a 2-year-old strength. And then I pushed her into the ground. I put her in the grass, and I pulled this stuff. I actually didn't pull it out. I shoved this energy back into the earth. And then she came back. She didn't have a clue what just happened to her. And she's like, what happened? How'd I get on the ground? I was like, let's just not talk about it, because I'm not sure exactly what the hell happened either. But but it was intuitive, and it wasn't the first time that happened. I mean, it
That
happened
happens to
another
people
time
around
with
you
her.
often, doesn't it, sir?
Well, I don't like to say often, but
more than the norm.
3 in total, and I think
Well,
there's
that's
some
more
reason.
than the norm. Most
Right,
people
there's
walk around having people just suddenly become possessed next to them.
yeah.
That has happened as well.
And for
in
me
my
to be able to grab it and pull it out and fix it
and deal with it, right?
and deal with it, or it come back. Like the second time I tried it came back and it was even worse and it attacked me and stuff. And the funny thing about that, she punched me right in the eye, and I didn't even flinch. It didn't hurt. I didn't feel pain at all. And then I was like, come on now. That's all I said was like, come on now. Why we got to do this? And she hits me again. Damn. And I was like, my meat shield, man. Come on. Like, stop. And then when I grabbed her, she couldn't fight back. It was like I had super strength. And we can tap into a state of consciousness with, I'm gonna say with psychedelics and without, because I've been through this experience of having I don't know what it is, a Kundalini awakening. You just know everything, and I'm to the point of knowing everything to the point where you know so much. You just can't rattle off like the world's greatest secrets like you would want to.
Horace Sheets, right? That's your name.
Horace Sheet. Take off the S. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. Holy shit. Right. Okay. So,
right, yeah.
What you just said was when, what you reminded me of, one time I kicked the door, barely, and the door like I broke the door off the hinges, and I know I didn't actually do it physically. It just happened, right? It was because first of all, I was on things, but like the thing is though, dude, there's energies that like people don't realize that are surrounding them. I hate saying do you understand? Surrounding them, but like there are energies that are surrounding you when you're in a certain state of mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That like things will happen around you that you're not even controlling, really. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
totally.
I think with what Harry's going through with these people that have had these experiences with him, and it's definitely happened around me. And I know we've talked about it with some other friends of ours. In fact, Josh was talking about.
You're familiar with this, Walt? This kind of like sudden possession.
Walt knows.
Oh yeah,
dude. Walt
knows.
dude. Walt knows, dude. He's an old soul. He knows all this stuff.
Walt's like, oh yeah, man, nothing new here, brother.
Well,
he's like, yep, this is nothing new to me. Nothing new.
Child, these things have been part of my life, so I've dealt with a lot of them and know how to handle their asses. And sometimes I don't have my handle on them, and they get me, and I know this is too much or whatever. I've had them literally hold me down on the bed, like hold me down. Out of her, it's not physical, but it's holding me to the fucking bed. I've had that happen. I mean, it's been that extreme, but I think it's more of either it's something that because we are who we are. And we want to help and heal and, make the world whole again with the people.
Are you saying being attacked? Like you're being attacked by something? I've had so many friends tell me this.
Absolutely.
Like you're being right. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, it's happened to many of my family, and I think it's part of this whole idea that some of us can handle them, some people can't, and if they can't attack you, they're going to get that person right next to you. Because they want to get your ass because you know too much. You're here to kick their ass. You're here to take them out. You're here to stop their bullshit.
And they want to get.
And they want to stop.
Yeah, they want to get to you.
If they can't get you, your friend's going to die in prison, or your buddy's going to have a wreck, or whoever they can get, it's going to hurt you. I mean, it's just part of what has happened, especially when you get to a new plateau. Like when we talked about this, Josh and me, and in all the early days of getting this together, when we hit this plateau of this new awakening with Flat. It was the worst attacks on me and people around me that had nothing to do with anything. They were completely innocent in it, but they were getting shit left and right. And I knew that was why, because of what I was dabbling in, opening up, looking into.
And it was it was affecting you by proxy. It's like by proxy where it was messing with certain people, like your best friend or your mom or whatever. Yeah. And that's what it goes towards, like whatever you want to call it, the Satan, whatever, and it goes towards the people, and it only affects the ones that you care the most about to affect your life, so that we can't do what we're doing now, which is talking about reality and really connecting. And this disconnect is what happens through this internet and this phones and all this stuff. I've dealt with this for 20 something years, 30, almost 30 years now.
Scott. Absolutely, Scott. You're right there, friend.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
I know, bro. Well, I could tell, man. I like when I talk to your brother, our brother, Zach, and I was like, dude, I didn't know about you guys, like you and Josh, and like I didn't even know about your show. You know why?
I'm glad you found us, friend. I'm so glad.
Like that was like a year ago or whatever. Like I'm like, why did I not know about this? Because they don't want us to know about this. They don't want us to connect this way. I'm not saying they, I'm not saying they as people. I'm saying they as principalities and powers of the airways or whatever,
We wrestle with.
Sorry.
Absolutely.
Sorry, that was my rant. Sorry.
No, you're right.
We'll get all the rants we can get. Thank you. Absolutely.
I didn't mean to do it. I mean, I'm just being honest, because it's true, because it's totally true. Like they don't want you to connect with the good people. They want you to connect with the dum-dums.
Oh yeah. The algorithm's set up for that, bro. I can put a video of me with my new boombox dancing in my underwear to like.
Hey, Hori Sheets, you're 30. What? You're 30 something?
34.
Okay, yeah, 34. But dude, we didn't have algorithms back in the early 90s and late 80s and mid 80s. Dude, you know what I'm saying? This has been happening since before algorithms. You know what I'm saying? Like this is like this energy stuff, like this whatever you want to call it, Satan. Like it's been happening since before algorithms. I'm not saying before algorithms, but back in JavaScript. Remember JavaScript? Remember like 85? Like there are computers are now happening. No, dude, they've been doing. I mean, this is a spiritual thing. It's not just like algorithms. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, just saying.
No, but they on the level of like if you're. The algorithms are definitely playing a part in it because they want the dumb, senseless stuff to get out and not the juicy knowledge. Because like I was saying, I could put a stupid video of me in my underwear dancing with my boombox and it'll get 100+ reactions on Facebook. But I'll sit there and do like a live Reiki informative video or astral projection thing on my own group on Facebook of 3,000 people, and it won't reach 50 people in a day.
How much
somebody else will,
how much energy does it require for somebody to sit down and watch you dance in your underwear with a boombox?
None.
It gets them in that comfortable little hum, and they can disappear.
Oh no, yeah, dude, that's the underlying hum.
Forget the boss's bullshit and forget the kids for a little while and just hum. But if you put on that Reiki video, they suddenly have to engage and think and realize, oh shit, my whole life is a bullshit. Oh fuck, where's the hum? Get back to the hum.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what the new music is. Well, you're right about that hum thing. That's what the new music, like doom doom, and it's like the rap, whatever you want to call it. I'm not saying the rap like an old man, but like that, all that music you hear nowadays, it's all mind control, dude. MK.
Don't get me started on the mind control and the music and radio and
MK.
Obviously, it's ultra everywhere. It is hypnosis everywhere. We're hypnotized on a daily. As soon as you turn on your TV,
I'm not.
You're hypnotized. Whether it's the frequencies coming out of the thing or the subliminal stuff you can't even hear. You could run a song. Some of these songs you can run through your audio program and look at the audio spectrally, and they paint pictures in the audio. It's literally like sound that you can't hear.
Well, bro, think about this. 432 hertz. If you look up 432 hertz, anyone in this world, look it up. Like it's not a joke. 432 hertz is not a joke. But if you play it in the actual tune to 432, that's what you want. You don't want this music that's tuned to it You want to tune to it and then play the music in 432. Like, Flat Earth Guru. It's called, what's it called?
Yeah.
You guys know what it's called, Walt. Walt, you know what it's called. It's called,
the natural harmonic tuning that we should have used.
yeah, it's,
using at one time.
Solfeggio. Solfeggio, what's it called?
Esophageal tones.
Oh, the tones, right. I'm sorry.
Esophageal tones.
Yes.
Solfeggio, yeah. But you have to record it in the tone, in the actual. Because if you just transpose it,
if you
it's not the same.
like with using app after the fact, that's what you're saying. It's not as effective.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, because you can see all kinds of.
I can see that.
You can take like Sublime or like Nirvana in If you put Nirvana to 432, it's just a It's transposed. It's not the same though. You have to record it.
Right.
I'm sorry. I know, Walt. I know you love music. I know that LC King, props to LC King, loves music. That guy's doing 432. I wish he was on the show because I love that guy. The guy's awesome because he plays Tool music. Walt, like Tool. Tool. I used to love Tool, man.
Don't they do
I used to love Tool.
They do that.
Until I found out. I always knew that.
What happened, Scott? What happened?
What?
Yeah, Flat Earth Man Alex, all of his is in 432.
Yeah, Solfeggio, right? Cammy?
Solfeggio, I thought, but I always heard it called Solfeggio.
Tomato.
Solfeggio, okay.
Solfeggio.
Yeah, exactly.
Aluminum.
I like the aluminium.
Yeah, right.
The
Exactly.
aluminium is
Semantic.
definitely more exotic.
Oh, that drives me nuts when people use that.
It's two
It's
different
all right.
words.
No, but the point is, though, when you record it in the 432, that's the intent. When you do it, like with the guitars and everything, even the drums, like you can record in 432. But if you just transpose it and you use that program, it's not going to be the same. You're just still playing music that was recorded in 456 or I forget now.
440. 440 is the current.
Yeah, 440. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, like pianos and everything. Every piano is tuned to 440, but no, 432 because it's cymatics. It's cymatics.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just said it's
cymatics.
cymatics.
Seek out orchestra.
Cymatics is for real. Cymatics is for real. Like your body is water, and the cymatics is flowing through your body. Think about like I played tons of music, and all that music was in a wrong tuning. Like imagine if I played all of the shows that I played, like hundreds and hundreds of shows. If that was in 432, everyone would have had a better time, and everybody wouldn't want to fight, and everybody wouldn't want to, just be. It creates a different frequency. It's hertz. You guys know it's hertz, right? Hertz are like frequencies.
Right. And there's also that whole magic wordplay of hertz and hertz.
Yeah. Well, 432 doesn't hurt, but 440. I mean, in my opinion,
big harmony.
Did Zach tell you about our? Oops, I'm sorry. Did Zach tell you about our accidental cymatic experiment here at the house? When I took my giant spaghetti pan that happens to have a copper bottom on it and put it on our ceramic flat top cook stove. And you put a copper bottom on a ceramic flat top and put some weight on it, and you get heavy duty cymatics. The pan dances. It's quite beautiful. It's perfect too with the
heck yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, the copper.
Cammy, by the way,
go ahead.
I moved up here to North Carolina. I'm in the mountains, but I'm only 2 hours away from you guys now. I used to be 10 hours away, down in Florida, garbage town. But it's been nice up here now lately, huh?
Oh, absolutely beautiful. I'm totally today, and we went out on the motorcycle, and it was totally, wonderful.
I know. I heard you guys talk about that. Oh, by the way, really quick, I'm going to say something really quick about something. and you guys talking about motorcycles, and my uncle, that was like kind of like the first person I talked to in my life back in the 90s. He was like, I was on a motorcycle and I just asked God to help me, because he wanted to die, right? It's funny. I just want to say this, but he said, I just want to know if God's real, and he had a motorcycle, like a heavy, like, you know, you guys have a what is it, a V twin, Harley,
Called
right?
a V-Rod, Harley V-Rod, which is
Oh, yeah.
twin engine.
Yeah, but he had like an old school Harley that was like not balanced. Like, so, you know, if you ride a motorcycle, if it's not balanced, if you let go of the handlebars, you'll just go to the curb, right? And he put his arms out and said, if God's real, then, you know, if you're real, then I'm just going to let go, because he was like done with life. And the motorcycle just kept going straight for like many seconds. Like, that's how he, like, I'm not saying that I was there, but I'm like, dude, but this guy was like a kind of person like us, where we believe in, it's a flat earth, whatever you want to call it. It's not spinning. It's, you know, we're different kind of people, right? And he was the first person that said something like that to me. And his motorcycle just kept going straight. I'm not saying that was God. I'm just saying that's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool story. By the first, in my opinion, the first truther that I ever met in my life back in the day.
That is wild.
I mean, seriously, you know what I'm saying? Like, I believed him too. I was in a tree fort like we were going away from everyone else, like all the regular people, you know, the normies you guys call, you know, blue pill normies, right? But he told me that story, and I was like, you know, I'll never forget that. Because to me, if you know about motorcycles, how if they're like off kilter, if they're heavy on one side, you're not going to take your hands off. And, you know, Josh, you know, like, I think Josh rides bikes too. Like, dude, you're not gonna make it more than 100 yards.
Not likely. No, I don't really ride bikes, but I have.
Not likely. I know. Like, you're funny. You're funny, bro.
Well, already, you know,
Anyway.
cycles, I know a little bit about balance, but yeah. You know what, on that note, we're
Exactly,
at 3
balance.
hours, and my headphones are squeezing my head, so I'm going to tell everybody have a fabulous Friday night and listen in as you all say goodnight. But yeah, time
Thank
to
you, ma'am. Love you, lady.
love
So,
you
Bob,
guys.
thanks.
Awesome, Cam.
It's definitely welcome to come back, but not in any way required. We definitely appreciate the time and send him lots of love. Thank you, Bob.
Dude,
He's right
that
here
house
having.
is all. You guys are living in an awesome place, man.
Yeah,
They were
we're loving
living.
it.
They moved to, like, dude. They lived just south of me, a couple hours, and dude, it's amazing over here. It's
quite
amazing over
pretty.
here. It's better than. Think about it. They used to live in Denver, dude. I wouldn't want to live in Denver, right? Like, Denver, what? It's like living in Portland. Like, I have a friend in Portland. I mean, come on, dude. You don't want to live in Portland or Denver or Washington
Hey,
State.
shout out to all of my friends in Denver tonight, though, and in Colorado, Fort Collins. They are getting 2 to 4 feet of snow over the next
Oh yeah.
day and a
Is
half.
there a
They're in
blizzard?
a
Is there an actual
severe-
blizzard?
Yeah, they'll be
I heard
having
it was
blizzard
coming.
warnings. Their winter storm warning is
I heard
already
about
in
that.
effect. Blizzard warning is expected to take effect if the winds do that, but they're expected to get at least a couple feet of snow out of this. I just want to smile, shout out, and say it was over 80 degrees here today.
Oh, you're so wrong.
I know.
So wrong.
Thinking of you, I were out on the motorcycle. I'm not missing it at all.
Well, it's good to talk to you, Cammie.
All right. Good talking to you too, and good being on the show. And shout out to everybody. Good night, everybody.
See you,
Bye-bye.
Kimmy.
Yeah, I was down in near Charlotte, and it was warm. I was like, this is really warm, like Florida. But you know what? Warm is good. It's better than frozen.
Yes, that's why I'm still in Louisiana. Well, I know there's a bunch of us right now trying to manifest a way to get over that way for the solar event. Definitely, and it's just
Yeah.
Are you 2 weeks?
Are you
away?
going?
I currently am not going, but I am
Yeah.
quickly manifesting that reality even as we speak.
My normie
Some
girlfriend
avenues.
was like, she used to say, "Flat Earth is weird," or "Why would I go to a Flat Earth conference?" And now she's like, "Let's go." I'm like, "That's pretty cool."
Well, yeah.
Think
That's
about
awesome.
that.
I'll be there. Well, hopefully, sir, I'll be able to put the bump to it and give you a hug and her, and that'll hopefully happen. It's manifesting, putting the energy to it. I'm going to throw it into the realm tonight and start marinating on it.
Marinating is good.
Marinating is good.
It has me thinking of manifesting. You know, that's a whole different topic, but manifesting. What do you know about that, Walt? Manifesting reality, like law of attraction. You believe in any of that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mind over matter, man. Mind over matter.
Basis, experience it, do my best to. I try to walk a fine line because I know it's almost like the karmic balance thing has to work no matter how it is. And so if manifestation focuses on
what good you have coming to you,
material things,
okay,
then the results, it's kind of like the monkey's paw too, you know, be careful what you wish for. I would much rather be rich in this. What we're all doing right here is I feel like the richest dude walking the plane right now because you guys are in my life. All you guys, ladies, this beautiful family. This is rich. This is
Dude, I got goose pimples, like what they say, goosebumps.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that's
energy.
That's what.
Well, think about yin and yang, right? There's a reason for that, right? You know what I'm saying? There's a reason for yin and yang, because without the yin, there's no yang. Without the bad, there's no good. Without the troubles, there's no happiness, right?
100%. Absolutely.
I have like a video on my phone from I've been doing a lot of like shadow work, introspective like meditation on psychedelics of the past year, and I come to make this video where I'm literally caught in the like Christ consciousness awakening part of my trip, and I record myself. I'm like basically recording myself saying how frustrated I am to be experiencing the yin and the yang, the highest, most good and righteous, as well as the most like secretive, occultish, and also equally as powerful, but hiding everything, the essentially evil and negative side. And I'm like in the middle, as we're caught in the middle of this. We have all of this inside of us, that we are the yin and the yang. There is only one, right? We all, you know, it's just like all this stuff came to me, and I'm pouring out this information. And but it was more so of me like going, why does there have to be a dissonance? Why can't there just be good? Why does there have to be strife and negativity? Bro, and I'm like, I was frustrated. You can feel me like mad in this video. It was amazing. It's kind of freaky to like watch myself kind of talk through how fast my brain was thinking. I'm just trying to get the words out in coherent sentences. But
see, that's your thing. Your brain is thinking too fast, dude. I've been there, dude. Like, are you microdosing or something? Is that? I feel like you're microdosing or something, right?
No, I probably that night I probably should have microdosed.
You did, didn't you?
It was crazy. No, I took too much that night. I ended up thinking my Canadian girlfriend was kidnapped, and I was about to call the government.
Bro, I used to do way too many mushrooms. Like I used to do mushrooms like literally. I would take like 20 times more than everyone else. And I'm like, I'm going to sleep now because my brain was insane, right? Dude, that's not good for you, dude. Stop taking too many mushrooms. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you right now. I know for a fact.
Trust me, no. I came to the realization. I knew I put a lot of stuff into perspective with those trips, because I understood government. I understood the reason why government exists.
You're overthinking your own like over trips. Like you're overthinking your own. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, bro.
We could discuss it for a while, because it made a lot of sense and still does. Because there's forces out there that want to create good things in the world, and what did we say earlier about the plants and everything? The P word.
Well,
God, I can't even think of it now.
Yas
But those kinds of people, Go ahead.
Yas said take all the plants and use them, but he didn't say to use all the plants too much. God said take all the plants and use them for the benefit of yourself, but he didn't say don't take too many of them. You know what I mean?
No,
like that's the problem.
No, trust me, I'm not doing this like every weekend, bro. This is like every couple of months, and I go through very, very interesting, gets me out of a depressive slump. Everything. It's really done a lot of healing to come to some of these conclusions, to understand that governments, there's both evil entities and good entities working in the government, and the whole thing is they have to work in a sort of a balance to create the balance out of what would be chaos, and
everything has to be balanced. Everything has to be balanced.
It's unfortunately an essentially a necessary thing to have to be governing the mass consciousness here. It needs to be harnessed and controlled one way or the other. It just doesn't have to be controlled too much one way or the other. It can't ever be too evil or too good in this place. That's why we're stuck with the world as it is.
No, you're right. You're right. Hey, Hori, let me ask you a question.
Well,
remember when you
thanks LSD.
Hey, Hori Sheets. Hey, let me ask you a question really quick though. This is funny. Remember when you did that video with the guy from Awake Souls, Jason Laffenberg?
Oh God,
Laffenberg.
I'm
sorry.
Did
Remember when you did that video?
God, yes.
Remember? That was pretty. I mean, I watched that. It was pretty funny. That guy called me a Satanist one time, and obviously everybody knows I'm not a Satanist.
He calls everybody a Satanist. That's what he does. That's
dude, like, well, how funny was? I mean, I'm sorry. How funny was? I just keep thinking about that. It's pretty funny to me.
Oh yeah, I knew what he was going to come at me with already because I'm highly intuitive, and he did his quote unquote research. He found the stuff that I figured he would find, so I already knew about 80% of what he was going to come at me with, and that's why I was able to.
Yeah, and you were like,
you're
like a young guy that knows how to use little OBS, whatever. I don't know what you guys use.
Put him in the,
but then
the
you became like the devil, and you're like, let me talk to you.
Yeah, we were in hell.
I'm sorry, but it was funny. It was funny.
Yeah, I know.
Because that guy, you know, I used to talk to that guy, those guys, you know, and I just think it's funny. I just think it's funny. I'm talking to you, the guy that was the devil, talking to somebody else. Anyway, sorry. Not to cut you off. Go ahead.
OG troll. He was coming out of OG troll, but I got skills, and it was really funny. I actually watched that again not too long ago, and I really laughed off at what I did when I was like, "Oh,
that was like a year ago, like a year and a half ago."
Yeah, so let's make it more comfortable in here, and then I pull the shades down, and I'm gonna go from the news studio into hell with him, and we put him in the TV in hell. That was great. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. I just think it's funny. I'm talking to the guy that did that video. It's funny.
Oh,
anyway, sorry, Walt and Josh. We're not trying to take over your show.
No,
but
take it over.
You know what it's about, though.
No, it's awesome.
It's always good to
Man,
hear
I
somebody
still have
over
scene on my thing. I'd pull it up right now. I'm sorry.
But what's it really about, though, is like everybody needs to realize that, you know, this whole place has been, whatever you want to call it, messed with by certain types of, you know, whatever, people and principalities and powers of the air, all that kind of stuff. But, you know, we need to not worry about all the nonsense and wearing masks and being like taking jabs. Oh, by the way, I'm going to say it right now, dude. Remember when jabs were like a punch? No, now a jab is like something your dad wants to take. Like, I mean, jabs aren't just for boxers anymore. No, they're just like that, jab you. That's ridiculous. Is anyone noticing this?
I'm right there with you, sir. I'm right there with you. It's just a ride. I'll say it again.
It's just a ride. You mean like? Oh, you mean like? Don't worry too much about it. Like, yeah, exactly. It's just a ride here on this little level realm. You know, testing ground. I call it a testing ground. We're being tested every single second, right? Right now, we're being tested. Your brain is thinking about what you're going to respond to. That's a test, right? and how you
I don't know.
how you
I'm in the
react to it?
camp of I'm in the camp of, you know what, we might have wanted to come here, thought it was going to be a certain thing, but this place was
I don't know about.
essentially a trap.
I know what
we
you
can't
mean.
get out.
I
We
know what
don't
you
know
mean
we
by
should
that.
get out. You know, go to the
I
light.
don't. I
go
don't
to the
think.
light, all
Do
this.
you think your soul
Wow,
chose
now
to
we're going
come
to be here
here?
another 3 hours. Thank
Hey,
you.
look, it's either that or I go into Kundalini Awakenings and Christ Consciousness. I want to open that can of worms, but I don't know how much time you guys have. But holy crap! Like,
We can
there's
totally
stuff we got.
Holy-
We got to do
put
this
that on the
again.
to-do
Holy
list.
shit!
I'd like
Sure.
to get John
Sure.
from
Oh,
Jersey
wow,
on
Sheriff,
that
it is 8
conversation, too.
o'clock. I really had no idea we'd been at this 3 hours. It has like felt like we really, truly haven't been talking that long. When I say this flew by for me, of course, I'm sure it's because I didn't shut up, it felt like. So I'm sorry. Hori, my goodness,
Oh, so I'm
definitely.
sorry for the same if I talk too much. I had a lot of stories to get out, but
Dude, it was
I
just
felt like I
like
needed to
a
get
brother,
enough
and
of
I
this
needed
out
to
while it
talk
fit.
about it. Right. That's how
You
it
know?
felt. Yep.
And I still have more.
Comrade
Like,
in arms. Let's get this stuff out. sir.
the next thing I want to say, not in this one, is you know, when I had these experiences where I knew everything and I proved it, and it freaked a lot of people out. How I proved it, I'll tell everybody about that. And the three, they had to be 250-pound guys, 2 of them 6 feet tall, trying to manhandle me and shove me in a room, and they couldn't. I had the strength of an army. I don't know, like these dudes could not get my little 116-pound butt into the doorway. And I wasn't going to let them until I was ready to let them. I had the strength of God, you know, basically. And so it's like really interesting what states of what, oh my God, it's like, if we can ever figure out how to consciously tap into whatever I know I've experienced, if we can walk around like this in a daily scenario every day, all day, well, this world will change real quick. But I think, and I'll save this for the next show, is I think there's a system in place to find these people that wake up. And it was kind of like earlier we were talking about putting on the ring and the wraiths can see you. Mm-hmm. Well, when your candy ass taps into Christ consciousness and you freaking do know everything, you light up like a light, let me tell you.
And they come.
I have talked to the cops.
Can I say something really quick?
These
Can I say just? I just want to say we need better music. We need really quick. I'm going to be gone. We need better music in this world. So I know that a lot of you guys are musicians in the chat, and Walt, and I don't know about Josh, and I know LT King, good music. We need to bring more like real music. Like, you know, I'm not saying truther music, but I mean, you know, better music in this world. You know, let's look forward to making better music, not disco, digital, baby. Actual musician, you know, musicianship. And I'm done. Bye-bye. And nice talking to you guys.
Thanks,
Hey,
Scott.
All y'all.
Thanks, Scott.
Love you, friend. Thank you so much for hanging out and calling in, my bud. Don't be a stranger.
Peace, brothers.
Love you, friend.
Peace.
I ain't gonna be
See
a
you,
stranger.
Scott. Thanks so much for calling in. That's awesome.
Later.
Peace, Josh.
He's right. He's right.
Later.
That's why I ride with
all
disco,
y'all.
You know? I got the scooter, I got the boom box, and I roll disco down the street, and people love it. They love it. I get fist pumps from old ladies and everything, man. Yeah, they all love it.
That's awesome.
All right,
guys,
so
it's been great, guys.
Put the soul recycling concept on a bookmark, because we definitely will get into that, because I know parts of
that's a good one. That Christ consciousness, Kundalini, all of that. Wrap it up.
The awakening of it, yes, sir. The spinal column becoming the antenna, if you will.
Well, thanks for letting me get a lot of that Reiki stuff that can be done with energy and Reiki out. There's still a lot of stuff we haven't tapped into.
No, man, we just everything was so exciting.
You know, like we went on boom, 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 and
right.
You know, there's so many things we.
That means you need to be here more often. That's what that means.
Oh yeah, and it's, you know, I should have been in bed at 5 to get up in 2 hours, but now I'm like, I'm just gonna not do my work tonight, because that's the beauty of being a freelancer.
Well, I appreciate you doing that for us.
I'm just gonna play games the rest of the night and crap out and do it tomorrow. You know, it's okay. It's been working out. Nobody's breathing down my throat, so it's worth it. It was worth it. Yeah, I got everything on Fiverr that had timers done. So
there you go.
Nobody's waiting on this like tomorrow, and you know, it's all good. But thanks for letting me get all that out. I felt like I needed to talk about a lot of these things. And the more I talked about some of these things, the more I've realized, oh, man, this would be good to say too, like, because it added to the variety of different things Reiki can do. It's just not just healing or putting in pains, but when it comes to drug overdoses and helping people like not call an ambulance at your next trip party. I mean, this is valuable stuff we should all be dabbling into.
Right, no doubt.
You know, your next mushroom or ayahuasca journey, you know, or something like that. You might want to know a little bit about that. Pull that shit out just that quick, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's an awesome idea.
Thanks,
I always
man.
like to play the healer when we're doing parties for games, so that's awesome.
Oh yeah, we got to play some games, man, and we got to have more conversations like this while we're playing games.
And we will have that game. I will write it down, text it.
Valheim.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get it and look at it.
Dude, we could just start a city.
Of course, I'm very limited. My little system I built was a budget build I did strictly for this show. I didn't.
What's your GPU?
It's a Ryzen 5 3600. I don't even have an X or an XT.
That's your processor, but what's the graphics?
Oh, no, the graphics card is my main roadblock. It's the only thing in the system that I couldn't find to upgrade. Like, literally, they did not exist. You can't buy them.
Graphics cards are in a whole tizzy right now.
It's insane.
Because of the miners, the crypto
only part
miners.
I never could find. I was going to get that. Like, that was going to be the next thing I got. And it's
do not buy a video card right now. No.
Older used system because what I've got is like literally 10 years old, 11 years old. I don't know. It's old. It's old. Like 50. Is it 56? I don't know. Yeah,
well, you know, the thing going on right now, Walt, is I'm sorry, they're having a shortage of memory chips, microchips rather. It's so bad the GPUs manufacturer can't push out these graphics cards, so consumers like us can't even get them. Who's getting them first are the GPU miners that have bots to buy them on Amazon immediately.
I know, dude. I saw some stuff about that in the story I put on. I was going to maybe talk about it on the show this morning. I dropped a story about all these bots you can use to try to get into these raffles and these. It's like, what is
there's raffles? Right.
But yeah,
so
that's
why
what my
video
roadblock is.
Now. Don't buy one right now. They're all overpriced. All the old crappier ones are $300 more than they need to be. So just
that was the thing. The card I'm using, I saw, has gone up by about $200, and it's old. Dude. It's stupid old, and it's like people are going to spend that for this. Don't. It's old. Don't buy it. So yeah, that's where my block is right now.
Well, Valheim isn't a crazy good
I've got
game,
so
maybe it'll still work. It might still work.
Right.
You play GTA 5, it should play Valheim.
I'm pushing the limit on that graphics card because I know if I break it, I'm screwed. Replace it with, so I don't want to overclock it and mess it up. I just let it ride its stuff and crash. That's all it does when I push it too hard. So
I'm telling you, if it plays GTA 5, it could play this one much easier.
Right, and that's the one that was my benchmark. You know, everything was like for that 3600,
might be all right,
and make it work, and it does. It works. It's just when it gets too crazy, or if there's too many modders on the sesh, that's usually when I crash. Is they're doing too many things, and my processor just won't handle it. They're
Come build a castle with me, and
I'm ready, dude. I'll hit it up.
We'll build a castle. We'll build a sailboat, and we'll take on the Kraken while we talk about
the Kraken. Unleash
whatever,
the Kraken.
dude. It's in there.
Right?
I think it's in there.
That's what's up. That sounds
all
good,
right, bro.
Thank you so much, friend. Love you. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you.
Love you.
Take care. Love you too, Josh. Zach. See y'all. You all.
Hey, Zach, that's not really a name you can abbreviate.
Right.
See ya, whore.
See ya, whore.
Later, whore. This dude.
I'm an abbreviator. What can I say?
All right. That was amazingly awesome. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you, Bob, for showing up and then me not shutting up. So I appreciate you sitting here while I just rambled on with Horror, dude. That's what it felt like. It was just me and Horror having a damn chat. So thank you all. It was great for me. Hope you enjoyed it. Flex those muscles. I will share something in the chat really quickly. Now, be forewarned. I've shared this before, I know, but just know going into this, I didn't write it, but the techniques that are used in it are techniques I had developed for myself over the years that I was using, that when I got those attacks early on in Flat Earth, when it just was like more than I could handle and was looking for a little bit more armor, if you will, found this. And when I found this and started using what it talks about, it really amped up both my defense game and my attack game. And at that time, it was needed, both for me and for my family, because just about everybody who was around me were having we don't need to get off on that. It'll be another show. But I'll drop that in chat. And now it does touch on some topics that some folks maybe some scary shit out there. Just be careful. That's all I can say. And when you read this, it digs into some of those scary things. Just know that you're more powerful than any of that. Way more powerful. And that's kind of the point of what we've all been talking about tonight. So I'll shut up and share. Thank y'all. Love y'all.
All right, then I guess we can wrap that up. Call that done. Put it in the can, as they say.
Fork in it.
Put a fork in it. It's finished. All right. Let's get the hell out of here. Let's see. We'll do a little.
What movie?
I was busy looking for music. I didn't hear. Say it again.
Dishes are done, man.
The dishes are done, man. Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead.
Jane, show me a cup. I know myself.
Christina Applegate in her prime.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
Surprisingly, in her prime.
Although her prime held out for quite a while, as I recall.
It's actually more of when I think she started coming into her own, as far as not just being Kelly Bundy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So,
no, she did amazing though playing Kelly Bundy. She wasn't.
But still, that was where she was typecast as. Was that person? It was that to me. That movie was sure we're off on this out of all the shit. What'd you have to say that for? Shut up. Good night. Good night. Love y'all. Miss you, Lucas. Miss you, John. Miss you, Adam. Love y'all. Thank you, Rob.
Thanks, Rob. It was good to talk to you. Hope to hear more from you. Miss everybody else. Thanks for hanging out with us this evening. This has been another great, exciting episode of Have No Sphere right here in the Iron Realm Media podcast channel. Our backup channel. Feel free to subscribe here. Might as well head on over and make sure you're still subscribed to the main channel, just in case here in the next couple months when we're allowed to live stream back to that channel again. Anyway, have yourselves a great rest of your weekend. Remember just how much we love you here at Iron Realm Media. Be good. Be well.